What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Game Discussions. I'm Member Cousin. I'm here with Cameron Selby, and we are live. We're going to be doing our Week 2 live stream for the NFL slate, and it's going to be a lot of fun. College football did not disappoint last night by any means, so we're going to talk about that a little bit before we get into it. Shout out Dustin for not only was there a no-call hold on the final play of the game for Notre Dame versus the Texas A&M Aggies, where they threw the touchdown to win it. Absolutely amazing. Let's see who's in the chat
What's
with
up,
us.
Nick?
But yeah, so that was awesome. I thought Dustin might be here already.
He might be hungover.
Yeah, I mean he might not wake up till tomorrow.
I mean
but
his A&M Aggies win at the final second. Arizona
Yeah.
touchdown favorite to possibly go 2-0. Like he's on cloud nine right now.
Oh yeah.
September champ.
And so a lot of fun stuff happened yesterday in college football. But talking about the NFL slate, we also have some really good games, and one of the highest totals I've seen in a while in the way of like separated from the second highest total, Cincinnati versus Jacksonville.
Right.
So
it's going to be a fun slate. One less game today compared to last week because there's 2 Monday games tomorrow. So you'll see that when we talk about the primetime slate in a little while. It's 3 games this week, which is a fun thing. Basically, you're figuring out Brock Bowers and no Brock Bowers. That is your decision today on that contest.
Well, I'm just kidding.
You never know. I mean, the other tight ends are really, really gross. So
right.
But yeah, it's a really fun slate. Let's get into what we're going to talk about
some spreads and the Thursday night game that we have up here. Actually, I'll pull it up.
I was so annoyed because of the game went exactly how I thought it would.
Right.
Like it should have been higher profit, just wasn't. Part of having an absolute. He's been one of the most impressive quarterbacks. But they dominating Detroit and Washington like they did 2 weeks in a row. Season is a very fun way to take off 25. One of the worst spots to be the road team on a short week. That is the first true short week of the season, and they kind of played like it with the lack of urgency early on, and Green Bay just kind of started off. And if it weren't for a 0-2 Madeline early on, it could have even been worse early on.
In the chat, Minnesota fan, he probably doesn't love seeing that the Green Bay is doing well. I'm sure Gary will get here with friends that is a Green Bay fan, and then Ricky, he's on top of that. So this is a big division in our friend group, and I thought that it's you improve the most from week 1 to week 2 normally, but you need a full week. And so obviously Washington, Austin Eckler, Achilles being torn.
Oh yeah,
that was awful to see.
Dietrich Wise, also
him too.
Long-term injury. So
and we had a debate in our was that Discord or in our group chat? One of the two, about JCM possibly going over his total. Well, even without Austin Eckler, he did not get the ball. So that kind of tells you it was all thing that we kind of alluded to. So
it's also a very interesting situation because they trade away Brian Robinson, and now they truly have one of the worst depth charts at the position in the league. And so JCM, everybody's going to interpret it as it's his season. Well, what if they just hit the running back market early?
Yeah.
And I saw an idea float out there that sounded really, really fun based on the replacement of Austin Eckler's role, Alvin Kamara.
Why not?
Imagine, New Orleans just kind of really starts out slow, 0-4, and just truly wants to tank. Alvin Kamara is a 30-year-old running back. Maybe Washington, because they're in win right now mode, wants to pay a little bit of a premium, maybe a 4th-round pick, 3rd-round pick for him.
Yeah.
And it feels like a really fun fit. And if that happened, JCM kind of his fantasy outlook, it would be absolutely crushed.
Sure.
In that regard. But another fun idea, but I wouldn't just anticipate Washington is just going to keep this running back room the rest of the year. It could be JCM season, but I just wouldn't put all your eggs in that basket.
One other person that I do want to talk about is Jaden Reed, who also was injured in this game.
Broke his collarbone on a touchdown.
Well, I don't know how long. Yeah, right. And I don't know how long he'll be out.
It said 6 to 8 weeks, so at least through November.
So not a good trade if you're Vic, because
it was
we
basically
did trade
like the equivalent of what happened to Xavier Worthy, where Xavier Worthy gets hurt on the 3rd play of the game. But it's almost even worse because that he scored on the play that he did, and it just didn't work out in your favor if you were a Jaden Reed guy. But I know a lot of people were because of the price tag purely. On top of that, he's been dealing with a foot injury, so maybe having the healing in an optimistic perspective, having 2 months to heal with the foot, I think, is a bigger concern than the collarbone in
Right.
terms of just long term, just kind of limiting your production.
Well,
So hopefully he can get healed back up and get back to his 50% year.
Okay, so talking about going through it, highest on the with the first game that I was talking about and alluding to earlier, it's actually come down a point. It was at 50.5. But I'm gonna let Cam go through it, and we're gonna go to the pick sheet and talk about it that way, and go over everything. So
yeah,
let me share this other page.
Like you said, one game clearly above the rest in terms of totals right now, Jaguars and Bengals. Next up is going to be the Jets and Bills. Fun one. Ed Oliver, who probably was the player of the game, at least defensively really against the Ravens. He's out probably a couple weeks because next week Buffalo also has a short week. Playing, I think they play Miami next Thursday night, or this Thursday night rather. So he'll be out a couple games out of nowhere. But then the Jets also missing some guys as well. So the Jets were the lowest point total last week, and then it became the highest scoring game on the main slate. So I don't know if there will be fireworks, but I have seen the Jets be very frisky against Buffalo in recent years. Zach Wilson swept them one year. So I wouldn't just count this to be a absolute blowout, but then again, it could very well be. So you never know on that one. It's a tough game, but a fun one to get to in terms of DFS.
I was going to say, also, all of our records are already up, so check those out too while we're doing it.
Yeah, you had a pretty solid week. I had a horrible week in terms of spread picks. Starting out 1-4, but both of us knocking the week out strong. Both of us had Green Bay winning by 7, ending up covering the -3. So hopefully we can get back on the right track and you can continue to stay, because you were absolutely on fire last year with your top 5 spread picks of the week in 2024. Giants Cowboys, a lot of interesting vibes. Division game. I think in the end, I still feel fine about the Giants actually finishing third in this division or above the Cowboys in general. But today, I don't think is that day. I think it'll be an interesting game, fun game. But this also could be a interesting, just everybody's on Dallas and then just completely the other way, like it was with New Orleans last year in week 2. So you never know. But my favorite game today on the entire slate is Chicago-Detroit. A lot of fun back and forth the last couple of years. I remember the Justin Fields era of Chicago, having those shootouts, and we were winning a lot of money on those DFS slates. Last year's kind of a similar thing. The most recent one was a shootout. The one before that was how Matt Eberflus ended up getting fired because of the mismanagement of timeouts. But either way, Caleb Williams went off in both of those games, and he's going to be one of my favorite quarterbacks on the entire slate today. Ben Johnson narrative, all that stuff. So really, really fun. I almost lone wolf picked Chicago outright, but I saw Detroit's matchup next week, and I don't think Detroit starts out 0-3.
Right. So absolutely.
But I would not be shocked at all if Chicago ended up winning this game outright.
Finding a way. Yeah, I get it. It's at home though. I mean Detroit. It's a big spread, +6.5. So I think that you're kind of getting that side of it as you see on Cam's spread over there and stuff. But I think Detroit probably finds a way to win this game, and maybe when we get Chicago at home versus Detroit, that's kind of where we see the other side of it. Rams and Titans, everybody picking the Rams. Pretty easy path here. Titans are one of the worst teams in football. The Rams only be able to score 14 points, but they really did well on defense last week, so that was good.
I feel like this is kind of a very much a trap game.
Hey, Roy.
That I have some vibes. A couple of shout outs in the chat. The Gale is here. Steiger, you are here as well. And then Mini Banana, who loves to take down on the FanDuel slates.
Absolutely.
If y'all guys have any questions on those slates, just let us know. But yeah, I don't know, because Tennessee's defense looked really, really good against Denver last week as the biggest underdog on the road. The Rams always start out slow. I mean, they won last week, but only scoring 14 points. I just feel like this could be a low-scoring game that Tennessee can kind of sneak away with, but I didn't feel good enough about it. It was just one of those kind of stay-away games for me.
Fair. Next game, I see some Miami love out there. I don't know if y'all have heard how we feel about Miami recently, but we're definitely out on the Miami Dolphins. It's not that we think Tua's bad or Tyreek can't play or Jalen or any of that stuff, but their defense is really beat up. Their secondary is really, really torn apart.
They lost 2 offensive linemen
and
to IR.
And they already were bad on the O-line.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't like they were good on the O-line and lost 2. No, they were already bad on the O-line and lost 2. I just don't think this team can do it. The only viable player on week to week is Achan, because he catches balls out of the backfield. But I'm still not confident in that, because if anything, he loses to Ollie Gordon on the goal line. I think they'll start doing that. I know they didn't do it in week 1, but sooner or later, a rookie will take a little bit of that away from Achan. So we'll see. I'm going New England.
I would be on some Miami vibes in terms of DFS if it weren't for the ownership. But right now, Devon Achan, like you said, their one guy they can really lean on is currently projecting as the highest owned skill player. So I want nothing to do with Miami if that is the case. I like the New England side. I think that's much lower owned and much funner to get to and cheaper, more affordable. But yeah, it's one of those games. And then in terms of weather, there's not really a ton of weather concerns, but Miami could have the pop-up thunderstorm that you see during the September months down in Florida.
Right.
Kind of similar to what Jacksonville was, where there wasn't really much of a weather. There could be light storms, and then there was a 2-hour lightning delay out of nowhere. Yeah. So kind of wanted to keep an eye on in that regard, but
even more reason to get away.
Yeah.
Even more reason to just not want to play that game, and maybe just stay away completely and hope everybody plays Miami. Sure. I do want to shout out this comment. Steiger did just say 45.5 is the over-under for the Dallas Cowboys versus the Giants. Steiger has it 45-0. I will say this is a lower scoring game. We actually talked about this on our Discord yesterday, that I thought you asked about Garrett Nussmeier, Steiger. I'm talking about you, 24.5 completions or whatever. I don't even know if he got there or not, but I said that game was going to be lower scoring. It was 20-10. I said 2017. I have the same feeling for this game. I feel like this is going to be a very low scoring game. I think Dallas wins it, obviously, but I think it's still 24-10, or like, one of those like weird scores where I just don't think Russell Wilson can get it going. Basically,
it's not nearly as high owned as I thought it would be. I thought a lot of people would flock to this game with the neighbors or a CD, but CD. Right. Neighbors right now combined for about 22%.
Not against getting to CD this week
at
all.
Not at all.
I don't know if I want a bring back yet. If I was going to go CD,
so. I'm not really interested in doing it, because really it's neighbors or nothing else. I know Tyrone Tracy is projecting really well, but I've kind of condensed my running back room down to about 5-6 guys, and so I don't think you need to go that low, especially because there's so many cheap options at quarterback to have flexibility.
Right.
So I don't think it's really a spot that I'm really interested in.
Yeah. Next up, though, let me go down one. I still haven't put a pick in. Y'all can see that, but we'll get to that in a second. 49ers and Saints. 49ers are going to be starting Mac Jones. So you have to trust Mac Jones, and obviously Cameron does not, which is fine. I completely get it. They have no skill players.
My thing is, I like New Orleans coming out last week and how competitive they were against Arizona. Kept it a 1-score game. And New Orleans isn't going 0-17. And I'm not going to pick them very often this year. This feels like the perfect spot to do so, because San Francisco just has nothing left skill player wise other than CMC, Ricky Pearsall. Juwan Jennings sounds like he is expected to play, but Trent Williams is a name to keep an eye on because he's less optimistic. He's going to test it pre-game. And so that's an active player to keep an eye on. That doesn't impact your fantasy lineups, but it does impact the game because the Saints I don't know. It's one of those, just like, if I'm going to lone wolf somebody at home against a team with all bad vibes right now versus a team that actually is playing hard, at least early in the season, at home, I'm just going to lone wolf it.
Sure. I mean, I don't even know the spread on this game, but it's
-3 to San Francisco. Okay. So it's not crazy.
Yeah.
It's gone down, basically cut in half since the Mac Jones official announcement. So
that makes sense. I get where you're coming from.
It's not like I think New Orleans should be favored. It feels like a good spot to lone wolf if everybody else is going to be on a side where it's not I can't even guarantee that the talent gap is that wide right now because of how banged up San Francisco is.
And should do a Saturday live stream. You guys are on too early and should do a Saturday live stream. Well, I mean, I get it, Drea. I get it. The problem is that, we have to pack in some things into this. And also, we basically get started around 9:45 with the actual slate, or 9:30 with the actual slates. And that's when we hope everybody rolls in. Of course, we're doing a picks page and we're talking about the Thursday night slate. But this is, kind of our just fun part of what we get to do weekly, and then we get to talk to everybody about DraftKings.
And then we also got to, spend the final hour finalizing our lines and stuff. If you look at other streamers on this platform, there were 3 that we follow heavily that were on at 8 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
So I get it feels like it's on too early, but for the fantasy community, this is kind of the proper time.
Yeah,
to
for
be
the
doing
nut
it.
jobs, the people that are out there that are crazy like
Right.
us. But yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about the Bills Jets. You did a little bit. I think Buffalo wins this game. I think that they basically dominate the Jets. I think last week's situation between the Jets and Pittsburgh was
I
just
think,
bad football, more so
yes,
than good,
I completely
good
agree
team
with-
football.
There were a lot of people that were like, I was impressed with the Jets, and Pittsburgh started out. Well, it's like, well, maybe they're both bad.
Yeah.
Like if 2
Agreed,
bad teams
yeah.
are playing and it's a shootout, you can't necessarily say that was good football. So I don't really know what to do. I take that result with a grain of salt. It was annoying that it happened. But
it's annoying for the
test
slate.
because if the Jets come out and they drop 30 again against a vulnerable defense that just got 40 dropped on them,
yeah,
like okay, I'm listening now.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson and Justin Fields.
If this is a 38-17 kind of game and it's not even close from the jump, then it's just kind of they're right where we thought they were.
Yep.
I see the game that you were conflicted on.
Yeah. Because look, I don't know the same way we just talked about the Jets. I don't know if this team is good or bad. I want to say that Seattle can do better than they did last week. I'm going to pick Seattle. I'm going to do it. I'm going to lone wolf this one. I don't love it.
That's fine.
But at the same time,
the problem is that if this was in Seattle and it was Pittsburgh, I think everybody would be picking Seattle. So I think this was just like a people lean to the home team. It's a cross country matchup. That's always a factor too.
I don't like the four on one side here though. It just feels gross.
What I felt about
San
Francisco.
So yeah.
But yeah, no, that's fair. That's totally fair.
Okay, Browns Ravens. Baltimore is an 11.5 point favorite, I believe, right now, which is very big. Very big difference. That sounds like a college football number more so than
if you remember
number.
correctly last year, our Jameis Winston puke stack with Cedric Tillman. That was that game where he had 7 for 102 touchdowns.
Thursday Night Football
as a 3,300. No. That was a different game.
That was Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Thursday Night Football against Pittsburgh. That's right. Yeah.
The Cedric Tillman one was when we took down the early only. I think we got like 3rd place out of like 10,000
that's right.
people.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. No, I remember this now.
That was a really fun game. Cleveland always plays them tough. And like there was some sound bites that came out, like Grant Delpit saying that Derrick Henry's easy to tackle and stuff. And people are like shaming on it. But it's like, well, Grant Delpit's him. And he's a really good tackler. There's like he can thump him. And it's not like Baltimore needs any motivation.
He got a lot better at tackling. When he was at LSU, he was a pretty bad tackler. Well, which is good that he figured it out.
For sure. But Cleveland actually always plays Baltimore pretty close. And so a lot of people are flocking to Baltimore just getting back on track and stuff like that. But, I would say not so fast.
I almost played the 11.5 on the. So I'm with you that it should be closer.
That feels way too.
That's just a massive. But at the same time, I just can't get behind Joe Flacco as my scoring me points. Like I can understand you want to say, oh, the Browns defense is good.
Well, they were so good
Baltimore's
that
good.
they had one of the highest scoring projected offenses and total offenses last year. They held them to 7 total yards in the second half last week. They just could not get past midfield. And so this week, if they hold Baltimore under 24, like it's very reasonable to say they can get to 13.
Yeah, last week was an elite sicko game if I've ever seen one.
Right.
But let's go on to the next one. It's going to be Broncos Colts. Broncos looked somewhat, down last week against the Tennessee Titans, but now going to the Colts is basically a pick 'em, which I think is it's just you get so much better between week 1 and week 2. I'm gonna expect the Denver Broncos to get better because I had them being one of the 14-3, the best schedule in football projection wise, and I think they get on track and they get better. I think Bo Nix gets better. It was pretty rough to watch last week. Sophomore slumps are a real thing, guys. So we might see that out of him, but Denver winning this game. Indy picked once by Pete Prisco. Hey, he had the best record last week, and he is the one that makes the crazy picks.
I think that this might be the spread that makes the least amount of sense today. I think Denver played really bad. They played down their competition last week. And so now in a kind of a dome game, being only a -1 favorite against Indy, who everybody projected to finish 4th in this division. I know that they were the most impressive result in terms of the main slate last week, but I think Denver's clearly the better team, and mostly everybody's picking them for that reason. But -1 just felt like it was going to be a 4.5.
It should have been, yeah.
And it's just not, and I'm confused to why.
It's based on last week's games. I mean, we watched a 33-8 game out of Indy, and we watched a 2012 game out of Denver, where they just kind of squeaked by a bad Tennessee team, in our opinion. So I get why the game is so close. It's basically buy low here, and I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna grab something real quick, so you can go on to the next game.
We'll wrap up the rest of the pick sheet. So Arizona, not a surprise that one of the bigger home favorites. Everybody's going with the Cardinals. One of the best games to watch this week is the Super Bowl rematch. Kansas City trying to avoid going 0-2, and then Philly after a pretty tough showing in their opener. I think it's a really fun one. I don't have a dog in the fight in terms of who I feel good about winning this game. I ended up going on the Kansas City side.
Right.
But it is a true pick 'em. I think they were +1 at home. Patrick Mahomes as a dog at home, I don't think that he typically loses these games. So
yeah, I hated the spread. I wish it would have been like, pick 'em. But at the same time, I just think Philly gets it done. They have the better team. I'm gonna wait till basically I'm gonna bet against Philly when they're falling apart. I don't want to bet against them this early, even knowing last week was a weird week between them and Dallas. I don't want to bet against them this early when they actually still have the best team on paper and have done it. So that's why I picked Philly. Actually, 3 out of 5 going KC. The thing I wanted to look up was you brought up in the chat Quinshon Judkins prop.
Yeah.
Steiger put it in the Discord. Cam brought it up. Steiger put it in the chat. So I want to see it's at 12.5.
Yeah, I was kind of confused by it because I put in a bunch of lines yesterday because I got put up with Profit Boost, and that was the first prop that came up was Quinshon 14.5, and I was just like,
it's gone down.
And then they immediately took it down, so I was like, that feels good. And then they brought it back up, and I think it was 10.5, and it was just the rushing yards. And I was like, okay, if he's active, I understand if he's playing the backup role.
He gets 4 touches. Yeah, it's
right?
It's over.
And then now I'm looking at it. They actually added his rushing attempts. I might like that a little more. It's at 3.5.
Okay.
So
we just
either way, it's a gamble because you just don't truly know. But I just don't think that they would announce that he would be active as of
and not play the man
and then just not play him at all.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Because Jerome Ford was not good last week. Dylan Sampson earned his role as a 1B because he looked really, really good.
He took the Jerome Ford role.
Yeah.
That's exactly when Quinshon comes back. Dylan Sampson takes the Jerome Ford role, which we all thought was his pass catching upside, and Dylan Sampson's going to be behind him. Well, Dylan Sampson had 8 catches. So.
Yeah, best ball. I feel fantastic about our exposure to Dylan Sampson. The problem is that as a 1B on one of the worst teams, it's going to be hard on a
weekly
fantasy football perspective.
Sure.
Can you start a 1B on a bad team as a touchdown dog every week in your flex?
Yeah,
that's the tough decision that I'm gonna have to wrestle with on a couple of my teams. But
12.5 feels really good in my personal
It does
opinion.
feel good, but at the same time, like it went down. Sometimes it just kind of makes you stop and think, like, what are they seeing, and is this too trappy? But yeah, 4 touches is all he really needs, and I don't know why he wouldn't get there.
Sure. Okay. Sorry, that was just wanted to grab that out of the chat. I thought that was a good thing to bring up.
Good column stack.
Falcons at Vikings. We all picked the Vikings. I think that game is really close, and I don't like that it's 5-5.
That is 5-0
because that just means that the Vikings are gonna lose.
It's Justin Jefferson's birthday. JJ McCarthy just had a baby. The vibes are high because Minnesota won a game they shouldn't have.
They found a way to win at the end. When
Atlanta, a little bit kind of like they gave one away in their regard. So if it's like they're on opposite sides of results, and Drake London should play.
Yeah,
Darnell Mooney's going to debut this week for 2025. Me is a true pick'em, but it is actually favored.
You get Michael Penix versus JJ.
Yeah.
That's a fun topic. That's why they put it on Sunday Night Football. Because you get the sophomores that finally get to play.
I feel like the Vikings every week 2 have always just been on
a
Sunday
good
Night
slate,
Football or Monday Night Football. Like Kirk Cousins prime time.
Sure, yeah.
Week 2 was just crazy. Last year, I think that was the game when they basically all Saquon had to do was just not drop that pass, and then they just went down and scored at the very end and stole one from Philly. So
that's right. I do remember this.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I think that game is going to be electric. I think that is the like crazy point total game this week.
Really? Okay.
So because I know both teams have somewhat okay defenses, but I just think this is like shootout feel.
Well, it's going to be really hard to do a showdown lineup because there are a bunch of really gross people below 3,000. There's not really many projectable guys below that. So are you going to eat a 0 to get all these guys, or are we going to have to try to get a low captain?
Give me a 200.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. To wrap up the picks, though, Bucks at Houston tomorrow at 6:00. Pretty split. I think this is another true pick 'em.
Yeah.
I went with Houston just because I think they played well enough to stay in the game against the Rams. Tampa Bay won a game they shouldn't have, and at the end of the day, I just kind of trust Houston's defense to keep this low. I don't expect it to be a shootout.
No, I agree.
Like the total suggests it might be. So it'll be a fun kind of grinded out game, but I'm going to go with Houston in this one.
I'm going to go with Baker. I'm just going to go Baker. I just want Baker, and the other 21 players can figure it out, but give me Baker, and that's why I'm on that Buccaneers side over there.
And then the fun one that we're going to have to stay up late to watch because it starts at 9:00 is the Raiders-Chargers divisional matchup. Chargers, one of the more impressive results that kind of goes under the radar because it was on Friday and in Brazil. But going against the Raiders, who had an impressive road victory in New England last week. So this is a true one. I'm actually shocked that you didn't go with the Raiders.
I did not because I don't think we can do it twice in the way of like I was confident in New England but honestly, let's keep the trend going. Let me be wrong.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Let me be wrong.
Yeah.
No, it's not that I don't believe in the Raiders. I think that they're good. I think that Geno looked amazing. But we at home, we're not a home site. We're a neutral site, unfortunately, nowadays. And the Chargers are coming in strong, so we're gonna have fans on both sides. But yeah, I think the Raiders have looked good, and I think this is a very close 3-point game in my personal opinion.
No, and the thing is, if y'all do come out and find a way to win this one, your schedule the next month looks very, very appetizing. Going to Washington, who looks all of a sudden banged up, then Chicago, at Indy, Tennessee. You could be looking at a 4-2, 5-1 start,
right? If
you do pull this one out this week.
I'm gonna have you answer that question from Roy.
Yeah. So
real quick.
Yeah, Roy's saying hypothetically, just hypothetically.
On FanDuel.
Yeah,
on FanDuel because he didn't add that.
No, he didn't. Must-haves for DFS unless we're coming into it. We are going to get into the main slate in a little bit, but one that comes out to my mind is, at least on the FanDuel slate, I think you kind of got to just find a way to get to Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
And I know he's 8,900 if I remember correctly, but it just makes way too much sense. Actually, let me look at his
I got it right here. Well, you can look at that. You can look at it on there.
So in terms of FanDuel ownership, he's actually only 18.6%. And I think it's because of the price. It's harder to afford. But basically punting defense, because there's like 7 defenses, 3,400 and below. Like there's a Dallas as a home favorite as 3,400, et cetera, and so on. There's a minimum price New Orleans. I think cheap defense and find a way to get it up to a bunch of studs. And then mid-tier quarterback is probably an option that I would go on FanDuel. On DraftKings, I think you can go any way you want. But on FanDuel, because it's a little harder to afford, guys, I think the mid-tier quarterback is the direction I will be going.
Well, it looks like Derrick Henry is showing a much better value, and he's $100 more expensive because he is going against the Cleveland Browns as an 11-point favorite. So they expect him to fall in the end zone. Obviously, that makes a lot of sense. If I had to pick one guy on FanDuel, roster percentage wise and things like that included, I just don't know how you don't get to some Jamar Chase. I really don't. And that kind of contradicts yours because of the prices.
You can't afford both.
I think getting both
going
is
to be
going to
doing
be fun.
Both. The one thing I do say, one person that we are looking at for his optimizer, he is showing Christian McCaffrey still as a positive leverage play, whereas Jamar is so popular that he will be a negative leverage play because he's one of the highest owned receivers. So that's just kind of worth noting. But love both. Going to have a ton of both today. Obviously, Jamar Chase is the thumbnail for a reason. So that Jacksonville-Cincinnati game, you have to find ways to get exposure to it. And yeah, Jamar Chase is where it starts, honestly.
Right. Okay. Let's go over and talk some DFS. It is 9:30 on the dot. I told you, Drea. I told you if you're in the chat, Stagger Teller.
Right on schedule.
But no, yeah, let's get over to the DraftKings stuff. 9:30. We're going to be going till 11 on this. We're going to talk about a bunch of slates. Early only has 9 games, I believe, or 8 games, one of the two. So a
Yeah, I
lot of
think
good
it's
ones.
9 games today. There's a lot of early only, and that's why it's kind of tough because I like to balance my lines with like 5 or 6 earlies and then late game, 3 or 4. And a lot of 8-1 natural builds are coming out. And that just kind of makes you nervous because you got to be cashing pretty solidly
Yeah.
if you're going to be doing that kind of route. But in that case, because there are so many ways to build early only lines, early only is a really fun slate to attack because all of the quarterbacks that we're targeting and building with are in that slate.
Yeah.
So you can literally do whatever you want. You just don't have to force in some 3 o'clock guys like a Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison, Philly receivers, Kansas City receivers, et cetera, and so on.
Roy, you're an animal. First off, I just want to put that out there because wanting to get to AJ Brown after what you saw in week 1 for 1.8 points is amazing. Coming from you, we love AJ Brown on this channel, so that's not.
I'm very
not a problem.
interested in the leverage of Philly receivers today.
Mhm.
The thing is, on FanDuel, I don't think that they're that low owned. Like both are showing about 7%.
Right.
And I'm looking at DraftKings. At least they're affordable, more affordable on DraftKings. Like I actually am on the Devontae Smith side, not the AJ Brown side. But both kind of just under 10% owned, showing positive leverage on DK, on FanDuel, both showing slightly negative leverage. But again, that just may mean they might be even lower owned than expected. But I think an interesting pivot today is if you're going to be stacking or having more players in the 3 o'clock slate, because most people I think are going to be doing.
Yeah, I have my first build was a 9-0, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
can't do that."
Contest, so,
yeah, exactly.
But if you went more balanced and hypothetically went a Kyler Murray +2 Arizona or Mahomes +2 or Hurts +2, like that is a way to get different because nobody's really double stacking in the 3 o'clock slate. So,
right.
Very good, interesting spot. I don't think I'll be personally doing that, but it's just worth noting. But
I'm on the Fields Wilson stack today. Very risky, very fun though. Very fun.
Ooh.
You're believing that game was not bad and that Jets are actually good at football. Okay.
Hey,
good luck, good guy. But
I can't do it today. There's just too many options to afford elsewhere.
Yeah.
So
how about the other side of the game? We're going to talk about the Buffalo Bills starting it off. Josh Allen going ahead and being the man, 41.8 points last week, winning that game in the fourth quarter basically by himself. 250 passing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, first time ever in a quarter. Yeah, what a guy.
I don't get the ownership right now for quarterbacks.
I'm going to have a lot of Josh
because of the fact that it upset me a little bit because I knew that once there was a chance to have a minimum price quarterback, we love doing that because it's always good leverage. It's always a way to afford whatever you want. And on top of that, since prices haven't moved on skill players a ton, like you could do whatever you want. It's fun. But Josh Allen just went for 40 and he's
too cheap.
Cheapest I've seen him in a long time.
Yeah.
And he's in a good matchup against a team that just allowed 4 passing touchdowns to a 41-year-old quarterback. So I'm all about getting to Josh Allen today. I don't know if he's my favorite quarterback, but 71, less than 10% owned.
He's got to be my favorite quarterback.
I mean, I completely understand and agree with it, but like in terms of his stacking options too, there's not a single guy above 6% owned right now.
Yeah.
I lied. 7% owned Dalton Kincaid. Whatever. Like if you can get over that or under that, whatever. But yeah, nobody is playing Buffalo doubles right now.
Yeah.
And that's just a great way to get different.
We'll get to your question in a second, Roy, because we do have Trevor Lawrence on the board, so we'll get to him. Yeah, and then talking about pass catchers, we don't really know. This is the biggest problem with Josh Allen is like, who are you going to pick? Well, how about, there's some narratives on Khalil Shakur going up against the Jets. They gave up a lot of stuff to slot receivers last week, so maybe you could find a way to get there. Keon Coleman, of course, had the big game with the 28.2 points, but at the same time, he might have some sauce to have to deal with this week in Sauce Gardner. And then Josh Palmer at 4,400 feels really cheap. This is a slate where you could go double with a wide receiver and a tight end because there aren't a ton of tight ends that you want to get to. So Dalton Kincaid is definitely in play. He had a good game last week too. So finally, we were just a year late on him, maybe. So
yeah, it really kind of made me feel optimistic with how well Keon played in the fourth quarter. But at the same time, he only had 1 catch going into the fourth quarter. So you don't know if that was just kind of game script or if this is here to stay and he could truly be the wide receiver 1 for Buffalo this year. I think this is a good test because I don't think that Sauce will just kind of prioritize.
Yeah.
I only am going to be traveling with Keon today. But everything's affordable. And honestly, because of how low on Josh Allen is, if you wanted to just go with your bold prediction narrative of Josh Allen leading the league in rushing touchdowns and he goes for 1 to possibly even 2 today, you could just play him naked.
Right.
And I would feel just as fine doing that.
I'm going to grab while we go to the next, because you just talked about how Keon, I need to get the matchups for the wide receiver cornerback stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to see how many plays they expect Keon and or Josh Palmer to be covered by Sauce Gardner. So
no, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm gonna so let me clear this and we'll go on to the next quarterback and then we'll come back to that topic.
Yep.
And in the biggest, most fun game of the week, like we've been talking about, Cincinnati Jacksonville, they've got the highest total on the slate. And Chase Brown 95% of the snaps last week, basically. So he's in there. Jamar Chase is in there. T. Higgins, there you are. We need to make sure that this Cincinnati team actually does what they're supposed to do. I guess Noah Fant is the tight end. I guess.
I think it's going to change week to week, but it's very annoying, and I just want no part of it.
It's these guys right here.
But either way, like, this is the team to talk about. The bring back is the other team to talk about. I mean, it's going to be the most exposed game on the slate. So if you were going to do a typical double, which basically consists of Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, and then pick one or the other, but you're still going to have to get different somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, because of the role and how Tank Bigsby was just traded, will probably gravitate to a very affordable Travis Etienne at 57.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, Brian Thomas Jr. at 67, still coming off a somewhat dead, not somewhat, it was a dead performance, but he's also showing positive leverage for a mid-price option. So literally, it doesn't matter how you build unless you're going T. Higgins plus Chase Brown. You have to still find ways to get different.
Right.
But at the same time, it's so juicy, and I feel even better about this matchup compared to last week's, where Cleveland, I thought it would be a tough matchup for Cincinnati. So I wasn't in love with the high ownership. That's why we were underweight to a lot of Cincinnati typical doubles.
Mm-hmm.
But then the Jacksonville game, it's annoying because of the fact that there was the lightning delay, because usually when there's 2-hour delays on games, that just kind of really screws up the script. Like if you look at the Dallas and Philly one, there was no scores after that lightning delay happened. With Jacksonville, they were on the way down to score.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's just 26-10 gross game. Everybody felt out of sync right after that. So much better game environment. This could be a 38-35 kind of game. And that's why I'm very interested.
I freaking hope so, because they're going to have
awesome.
way too much of it to not be that big. No, I think the main guys, of course, Jamar Chase at 8,100 is fun. And I will want to play him. It's just going to be hard if I do a Josh Allen stack getting to him. But at the same time, we can find ways to get cheap, right? But yeah, this is a really good team to target this week. They're going to be one of the favorites. I know that some of the other content creators, this is their favorite.
Right.
Let's go over to the team that they are playing. That is Trevor Lawrence. We'll get to that BTJ question. I would actually, before we do that, Keon Coleman is projected for about half of his snaps against Sauce Gardner. He switches sides. Sauce Gardner was the number 1 ranked cornerback last week, and Keon Coleman was the 6th ranked PFF graded wide receiver. So I thought that was impressive.
The problem with, if you think in theory about how Buffalo will be playing mostly either from ahead or close all season long and not having to play a bunch of catch up, everybody is going to be like a 6-7 target a week guy. And they basically have to either catch them all or catch multiple touchdowns to absolutely explode.
Right.
There's going to be very rare occasions where they're down 3 possessions and they have to just only pass and have 90-yard drives every single time. That's where Keon got his bread and butter. Last year, Khalil Shakir was always steady at getting you 12 to 14, but he did not score touchdowns, and he was just kind of like the between the 20s guy.
Yeah.
Josh Palmer only kind of adds a wrinkle into that, playing as much as he did as well. Dalton Kincaid, I love him as a player, but he's also competing with snaps and has just as many snaps as Dawson Knox does. So it's very much a spread out, frustrating thing. And from a week to week, it's going to be hard to just have confidence in any chalky guys. Fortunately, that's not the case today. But that's why because of how spread out it is, that's why I'm okay with going naked if you wanted to just play Josh Allen and then just figure the rest out.
No, that's fair. Okay. Trevor Lawrence On the other one, we did get a question about how we feel about Brian Thomas Jr. I obviously think that Brian Thomas Jr. will figure out and not have the same woes that he had last week. But
it was a weird
ETN,
game script.
well, yeah, it was a running like
We
they
don't
ran the
expect
ball well.
Jacksonville to play ahead by 2-3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
It was a very weird game against Carolina. But then this week, Cincinnati, how are you going to beat them? Probably through the air. And on top of that, Travis Hunter is reportedly going to be playing more and more defensive snaps. So already that could correlate with less offensive snaps. A lot of ownership is kind of reflecting that. Him only being 2% owned right now in a good spot is very telling for what people expect of him today. I think as a result, the biggest winner of that is Brenton Strange because he's 3,600. Tight end is very, very weird today. It's you go all the way up to Trey McBride. You try to have confidence in a Kelsey or a Laporta that could pull some ownership, or you just pick the litter 4K and below. And he's one of those guys in a good spot. And if Hunter's having less opportunities today, hypothetically, I don't even know if I believe in that. But if that's the case, Brenton Strange, first drive of the game, caught 3 passes for about 40 yards, and then basically didn't have to
do anything.
A ton the rest of
the game.
Trevor Lawrence's only touchdown was to the backup tight end last week. So it's one of those things that's very interesting. He's very affordable. I just think it kind of depends on the ownership because if there is a plethora of tight ends and they all, to me, are the same play, I'd rather just either go all the way down to a cheaper one that we'll talk about or just play a low-owned one like a Hunter Henry or Jake Ferguson, Dalton Kincaid, kind of one of those things. Juwan Johnson's another one.
At any point that you play a Trevor Lawrence stack, you're playing Brian Thomas. At any point that I think you play a Cincinnati stack, you're going to want to try to get a Brian Thomas. That's kind of my thought process. I mean, you're either going to go Trevor Etienne or Brian Thomas, of course, in that situation. I don't think you go with Travis Hunter unless if you like that, the ownership battle there and getting some leverage. But otherwise, I think you're going to go with one of those two guys. So Brian Thomas makes a lot of sense because if Travis Hunter is going to play more defense, that means Brian Thomas will really be featured like as he was last year. Not that he's not going to be featured anyways, but he just might have less boom games with a Travis Hunter playing more offense. And then Trevor Etienne, I don't expect him to have just these massive runs every week. I feel like a good team to
you keep saying.
Do I say Trevor? Oh my gosh, dude.
Well, the problem is, he has a Travis.
That.
His quarterback's Trevor. His brother is Trevor. They played him last week.
Look, they should not have named them that. Yeah. It's so hard. My wife is Taylor and Tyler. That's another thing.
That's
thing. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
But the very interesting thing to me on this game is the fact that I didn't expect that Travis Etienne would be less than 8% owned.
Yes.
Based on Cincinnati giving up some of the most amount of PPR points to running backs last week. Obviously, Dylan Sampson led the team in receptions. And on top of that, a lot of people, if you're going to think about a game script where Cincinnati is favored at home, Jacksonville's playing from behind. So if I'm going to do a double with Cincinnati, I'm going to bring back him with a pass catcher. Well, I guess apparently the tournament way to go about it is go $1,000 cheaper and go Travis Etienne. That's what I was building all week. And I'm way over the field that I thought I would be. I thought he would be one of the highest owned running backs, and that is not the case right now.
Cool. Trevor.
Yeah.
All right, I'm past it. Let's go on. Next quarterback is going to be Caleb Williams, and we're and y'all know this, but if you've never been here before, basically we throw a bunch of quarterbacks up there from the early only and then the afternoon slate, and then those are the same quarterbacks we're going to talk about correlating in the main. Caleb Williams is going to be one of them. What is his ownership on early only? Just wondering for just the people.
You always got to inflate it a little bit, but because of so many people going with the quarterback route, I don't expect it to be a ton different. On the main right now, he's projected 4% ownership.
Okay.
And so you would assume maybe you bump up 20%-ish off that. So maybe about 5 or 6% on early only. Sign me up. I am all in on Chicago today. And it doesn't make any sense why they are so cheap. I just think it's hilarious that somebody who averaged as a rookie in a bad system 26 points a game against Detroit last year. You have the revenge game narrative with Ben Johnson, who's wanting to play hard, play well. They lost a game they shouldn't have lost last week. And you have affordable stacking options where everybody is 5,700 and below. and no one has ownership.
Mhm.
There's not a single player on Chicago with ownership right now. If you look at the highest exposed guy for Chicago, it is DJ Moore at 6%.
Yeah.
And it's one of the higher total games in a good neutral environment in a dome. So no weather concerns, revenge game narrative. Detroit obviously did not look good last week. The MO of them is pass or attacking them in the secondary. And Caleb Williams, a lot of people want to harp on him having a tough game in the second half, and he did. But from a fantasy perspective, he still scored 24 points in a bad game. So even better matchup than Minnesota was this week. Revenge game, low ownership, high leverage. There's nothing to dislike about this other than just not trusting Caleb. But if the community wants to just portray him as a bad player or quarterback right now, I'm just all about getting overexposed to him. He's my most owned quarterback today.
I don't even think the problem is you don't need to overexpose in the way like you need 5 lines of him. You just need like 2 lines of him and you're overexposed. So if you're playing 20,
but
well, yes, but I'm saying like as a normal person that's watching the show, if you play 2 lines of Caleb Williams today, you are over in a 20 max. You're over the field by far.
Or if you just play 5 lines, 3, 4, 5 lines, if you just play them once, way over the field. But like RotoWire, I don't trust their projections nearly as much as I used to, but he's showing 2% owned right there.
So yeah, you don't even need to play a ton of him to get that like leverage against the field, basically is what I'm getting
exactly. At. So I just don't get the lack of love for Chicago. Detroit, there's very fun, affordable brain backs everywhere. Like Jahmyr Gibbs, I think is popping really well for me. I'm really excited to see if he has less ownership because he's smack dab in the middle of Chase Brown, Devon Achane, Christian McCaffrey, and then obviously people want to play Derrick Henry up top as well.
Right.
So if he's kind of smacked in the middle and he was kind of very inefficient last week, maybe that kind of pulls back and he's not as high owned as he should be. Amon-Ra St. Brown, very affordable at $7K. Sam Laporta led the team in targets and yards last week, only 48, and on a weird tight end slate as well. And he's not pulling much ownership either. So, yeah, I think this is one of my favorite games on the entire day today. There's a lot of ways to get different. I'm not going to play Colson Loveland until I see him play more snaps.
Yeah.
But just going double stack, a pure double stack of DJ Moore, Rome, and Caleb. No one else is doing that apparently. So, and bring it back with whoever you want, and then you can get chalky guys the rest of the way, and you're still different.
No one played Justin Fields last week, really, right? So why not?
And that was a much worse matchup apparently.
Yeah.
But or unless Pittsburgh's just really bad.
Well, Detroit's secondary hasn't been good at all in a while. Okay, Drake May. But I do want to say this game has some weather, so we might be coming off of it.
Once again, it's one of those where it could be 100 degrees on the field, but there can also be lightning and pop-up storm. But it doesn't sound like it's going to be like New England was last week, where it was going to rain a ton early, soak the field, and then spotty rain throughout the game.
Right.
They still threw it
plenty
with that. Yeah. So Drake May in a close game environment still threw it 46 times, ran it 4 times. He had kind of a rough game, but at the same time, I was intrigued by the fact of in not great weather, they still were letting it rip and putting the ball in his hands.
They're playing Miami, guys.
And on top of that, now being in better weather, hopefully against one of the best matchups we'll be targeting all season long.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of very, very intrigued by the idea to get a $5,200 Drake.
Ooh, the Gale with the JMO nuke vibes. Okay. I'm playing JMO in fantasy this week, so I'd hopefully that doesn't happen to me. But at the same time, no, Jameson Williams can have 30 points and not be surprised by it. So he's probably cheap enough where if you want that as your bring back, that would make a lot of sense to me. I think everybody on Detroit is viable, kind of. So
this is a puke. The definition of a puke stack that doesn't feel like it should be a puke stack.
Yeah,
every single New England player is less than 5% owned, including Drake May, and he's $5,200 in a good matchup in a good environment. He threw it, or he had 50 opportunities last week in bad weather, and everybody is 5,500 or cheaper.
Yep.
So cheapness, low owned, great matchup. Once again, sign me up. I wish that Josh Allen and Lamar were a little further up, like closer to 8,000, so that I could kind of feel like fading both of them and just feel good about it. But because they're so cheap, I have to dilute my ownership. But if it weren't for them on this slate, I might have every single line or most of them with cheap quarterbacks.
Yeah,
because of the game environments, the good matchups. Everybody 5,500 and below, a lot of them at least, are in really good spots, and Drake May is one of those that leads the board.
I just don't feel like we're going to play anybody that isn't either you're playing Josh Allen or you're playing all the way down.
Yeah.
For the reason of, like, of course, you look at these guys. You can get the Keyshawn Booty, who had the main stay on last week's slate. I'm really not playing Stephon Diggs. We had this conversation on the main show that we did because he didn't play enough snaps, in my opinion. But when he's on the field, he's going to get targeted. It's not like I'm fading him for that. I just like opportunities, especially if I want to take down. Pop Douglas looked really good, but he did not get the 2 touchdown possibility that he got overthrown on one, and then I think there was a flag or something on another, whatever it was. He had 2 opportunities to score a touchdown. Neither of them came to fruition, so his price stayed low at 4,300, and it's reasonable. Hunter Henry is one of my favorite tight ends on the slate.
For the team lead in targets last week, 4 for 66.
Yeah, 93% of the snaps.
93% of the snaps. Good matchup. Look what Tyler Warren did to Miami last week.
Yeah,
and yeah, right now, Hunter, I totally understand the bad vibe of going with Stephon Diggs, but I mean, the ownership is reflecting it no matter where you go. It doesn't matter. You can convince me it because of how everybody's less than 3% owned, and then Hunter Henry's all the way at 3.8. And so that just kind of is what it is. It naturally speaks to itself. And similar to what I said about Chicago in a great matchup, you can double stack. I don't even care about bringing back in this game. Yeah. Just because the natural bring back that I'd want is Devon Achane. I don't want to be underweight to Achane. If I have to play 7 out of my 20 lines with Achane just to be overweight, I'm just not interested in doing
Are you going to play 7 out of 20 lines with Drake May? Is the real question.
No.
So then there's no way you're going to ever get to Achane.
Exactly. Yeah, because I'm just naturally getting to other players. I just don't want to do the Miami nonsense today. Yeah. If it bites me, it bites me. But there's just so many good plays. It's not like we're all tough matchups and he's in a great matchup. Look what they did to Ashton Jeanty last week.
Yeah.
Like they held him in check the entire game and
scored the touchdown, but otherwise he had a very tough game in the rain.
But I mean, for 7K, he only got about 12, 13 fantasy
I think it was
points.
13, yeah.
So that is not going to do it on here. Obviously, Achane's a different style of back, and last week he was a complete bust in a bad game environment. He salvaged with a touchdown, but still did not get there based on price. To me, that's what it's going to come down to have a elite output today is being down 2 scores and getting all the PPR points. And I'm just not wanting to do that. Jalen Waddle got banged up last week. Tyler Hill, I'm not really interested in him until he gets traded to another team because of all the bad vibes with him. So double New England, no bring back is kind of the direction I'm going if I'm going with the Patriots today.
What's up, Jeremy? Jeremy is looking for the color of Lambo he's going to get with the line that we're about to create. We're going to see each other at the top. It's going to be awesome. I did want to put in, ask the chat to put in their favorite quarterback that we're going to talk about. We have one quarterback left that we will go over, but I want y'all to put the quarterback in the chat that you want us to build with. We're, of course, going to build some of these lines, but I know that there are going to be lines that y'all want to build different quarterbacks with. So let me clear and put in the last quarterback that we have to talk about, and that is Mr. Mac Jones. Yeah. Mac Daddy. I mean, $4,000, and you're going to possibly get, everybody going to want to play Christian McCaffrey. Everybody's going to be playing. Just kidding. I don't know if everybody's going to be playing Ricky Pearsall, but he's reasonably priced. Had 17 points last week, and he's the only receiver healthy.
What point total does Mac Jones have to get to for you to feel good about investing in him today?
I mean, he's 12.
12? So,
minimum.
So last year when he took over for Trevor Lawrence due to various injuries and stuff like that, he had a 20-point game, only had 7, but then he had 21, 14, 17, 14. So at 4K, he basically hit all but one time against, except for at Tennessee where he had a 2-interception game and no touchdowns.
Yeah.
So other than that, as long as he scores once, he's probably going to get it to you. It's really easy to know who you're going with. Juwan Jennings, it does sound like he's going to play. I still prefer Ricky Pearsall.
Sure.
But at the same time, it's high-owned Christian McCaffrey. It is
the New Orleans Saints.
New Orleans.
It's
whatever.
Bad football over there.
Bad football over there. Yeah, I mean, Ricky Pearsall, less than 5% owned. Mac Jones, less than 5% owned. He's minimum priced. Double stack them with Christian McCaffrey, and you're different. And you can afford whatever you want. So I'm going to be playing some Mac Jones today because of the fact that there are so many good quarterbacks and better matchups that I only got to get up 1,400 to get to Caleb or Drake May. I'd rather do that, but that doesn't mean that Mac Jones isn't out of the pool today. I'm going to have, probably 3 or 4 lines with him.
Yeah. So Jeremy is going to start his part-time job. Did say that hopefully the Jags can beat Cincy. I'm the only person out of the 5 that we do, including Cam, that picked the Jags today, Jeremy. So I'm with you. Justin Fields, we will build with Justin Fields. And then Brandon, yes, McCaffrey is RB1 and wide receiver 1, but he has the hammies and calves of a 90-year-old man. So we will see if that matters.
Still scoring 40.
Yeah, still getting 30 touches. So. Right?
No, the problem with him, at least he's saying that because he has him on his fantasy team and is projected for 150 somehow, some way already. But regardless, in terms of DFS, I would just kind of know that he's going to be about 26 to 30% owned. So make the decision on whether or not you're going to make so many lines to be over the field to him.
Right.
Because I wouldn't play him just to get 5 out of 20 lines. Like, you got to go double, or I would pull back. Mm-hmm. That would be the decision I would make. But because of the great spot he's in, bum calf, 31 touches last week. Like, all you just got to do is break his touchdown, non-touchdown streak, which he has not scored since 2023. So hopefully today is the day that he does that. But he has the highest total yards prop today by a mile as well. I think it's like 118. So yeah, Christian McCaffrey, can't say enough good things about him.
Steiger made a good joke, not gonna lie. CMC about to be IR1. Funny stuff. Hypothetically, play 1 line for $660. Well, we're gonna be talking DraftKings, Roy, and I know you do FanDuel, but we're gonna put Justin Fields in there for you, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna run this line real quick for you, Roy, because I know that you're on the other site, but I bet some people are gonna want to play Justin Fields after what he did last week.
And it is worth noting Josh Reynolds, who had 3 targets last week, he is out today for Jets builds. That doesn't really matter in terms of most doubles. If I am doing a Justin Fields double, I would probably just do the chalky guys of Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. I don't think it's going. You have to do a ton to be much different from there because right now, if I'm looking at all positions, I don't even see Justin Fields. 4.9%. So showing positive leverage. Garrett Wilson once again is less than 5% owned. Breece Hall 7% owned, and we saw Derrick Henry go for 180 last week. We saw Zay Flowers going for 170 last week. I don't know where Buffalo's worse, if they're just like bad matchups or if they're just going to be terrible and they're going to be what we thought Cincinnati would be defensively this year. But we can find out together with Justin Fields double. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, low owned apparently. And then honestly, I feel like you need to bring it back, but I don't have a comfortable answer on who.
Yeah. Roy, I will never recommend triple stacking on a big slate. There are some slates we'll do like a 2-gamer. We'll do 2 gamers or 3 gamers and we'll triple stack because it just makes the most sense. But I
definitely wouldn't triple stack with Justin Fields.
I will. Well, yeah, I don't know who he's talking about necessarily, but I just think he was asking that question. But yeah, I don't know. I know I will not triple stack Justin Fields. That is correct.
I think the one or the theory of who to triple stack are honestly ones that are immobile quarterbacks. So like Joe Burrow, great matchup, great spot, but nobody. I think everybody's going to double stack.
Yeah,
but nobody's going to triple stack. So if you just wanted to put them all in, Jamar, Chase, it's expensive. But if you want to do that, I feel like less people will do that. Bring it back. So half of your line is Jacksonville, Cincinnati. I think that's fine. But even other quarterbacks that we like and love, I just think it's difficult to envision. I think it's like a low probability scenario where just you have 2 100-yard plus receivers and then another guy that scores 2 touchdowns.
And Steiger put in the chat, Fields, Hall, Wilson. I'm probably not going to be stacking Breece Hall, even knowing I loved his production. I think that Justin Fields actually checked the ball down for once in his career, which was good to see. But I just don't think I can stack him. I think he needs more upside to do that, especially with.
So you would single?
I would single Justin Fields as a
Okay,
skinny. I'd
that's
skinny him.
Well, what I'm saying is if I do double, I would go with Brees Hall. I don't even
Oh,
think
sorry,
I would.
Roy. My bad.
I don't think I would even take the chance on. Hey, it's Mason Taylor to score a touchdown or
Yeah. I agree.
Alan Lazard. I'd rather just get both if all of them are under 10% owned.
Okay, fair enough.
But I'd probably, if I was doing a Justin Fields build, I would probably just single stack.
Agreed. Which Buffalo player? Because we have to throw a dart.
So in terms of FanDuel, the easy answer is Keon Coleman because he's still only 5,300.
Okay.
On this one, it's harder because he's 51,
Which
and he's probably my least favorite of the guys in that range.
Can I go Josh Palmer?
Sure.
Okay. Because I
That's
think
fine. He's 44.
I'm pretty confident that I can make a beautiful line with the Josh Palmer.
Okay.
And then also I did want to say Brandon asked if we will do an Aaron Rodgers. We will absolutely do an Aaron Rodgers. Just so y'all know, last week, Dustin asked us to do a line for him with Michael Penix and Bijan Robinson.
And that was the highest scoring line that we built.
So yeah, we're absolutely going to build as many lines as we can with y'all. We want as much interaction, of course, but at the same time, we want y'all to play these lines and make money. That's the point of all of this, is like to make money, right?
And have fun.
And of course, have fun. But, well, that comes with making money, I guess.
Sure.
Running back wise, I think that Christian McCaffrey or Jahmyr Gibbs will be, because we did play something lower here.
I think you can go with Christian and be chalky because of the fact that I don't think anybody's playing Josh Palmer and nobody is really doing a Justin Fields stack. So,
yep.
Bang.
No New Orleans.
I don't want to bring back.
Cool. Perfect.
I'm not interested in New
Thank
Orleans.
God.
So,
Cincinnati versus Jacksonville.
Sure.
Which one?
Let's go up to Jamar and see if we can afford him and
why not? And then Jacksonville, I guess ETN.
Yeah,
because we got to get lower.
I would
there.
say ETN. If price didn't matter, I would say BTJ. But also, there's not nearly as many 3 o'clock running backs as 3 o'clock receivers that I'm interested in playing. Chuba Hubbard is one of the chalkiest running backs, and it disappoints me because his price didn't move. But I think it also has it built in because of the fact that he's a 3 o'clock game and why he's so popular.
Right.
Him and James Conner, to be honest. So I don't really want to go up to play them in the 6K. So I'd rather just fill my running back room like that. Defense wise,
yeah,
I think there's basically going high or low. My favorite one is the Rams.
Okay.
Today.
Yeah, no, I agree. That was
but again,
or New Orleans, right?
I like New Orleans as well,
but we can't.
And I'm okay with playing New Orleans versus
Christian McCaffrey.
I'm
fine.
Yeah. I'm fine doing that.
Sure.
I don't think that's too weird. But if price didn't matter on DK, I would go the Rams.
Okay.
I know, once again, Roy, there are so many cheap defenses that are just
everywhere on
like
there on FanDuel.
Dallas is a favorite. They're $3,400 at home. Like, that just makes a ton of sense.
Right.
The same thing with the Saints. They're $3,000. So you can afford whatever you want by going that low. But on DK, you don't really have to do that.
Another skinny here option. Okay, so one guy that we have not talked about that we have to talk about. He's one of the biggest pickups throughout all of fantasy football. It's Harold Fannin Jr. I am actually okay with playing him because he's $3,100 and absolutely has the highest ceiling and possibly the best floor. He did not score a touchdown last week and still got 13.6 points.
If you want to see how exciting he is projecting to be the highest owned tight end. Still has the highest leverage.
Yeah, he's deserving of it too. Yeah.
So, and on top of that, because he's 3,100, he could afford whatever you want. My thing is, I don't want to overexpose myself to the highest owned tight end, especially when it's going to be naked, not with the bring back. I'd rather just kind of sprinkle some in and then use like a Brendan Strange, a Hunter Henry to get stacking options or bring backs, or go up to a Sam Laporta, all the way up to Trey McBride optimistically. But that's neither here nor there. That said, in this Ram, there's no 3 o'clock game. So I think the natural makes the most sense is going with the Marvin Harrison.
Okay, perfect. I think that's great. He's 58. Am I blind?
I think it's because you don't have.
Oh, we're on early only, buddy.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, we don't have to do that.
Yeah, we don't have to. No. We're good. We're starting early only.
No, you're good.
Would we want to go down from the Rams and go up? Is there like someone here?
So 60. So you can afford.
There's the Brees.
You can afford the Brees double.
It's 600, right? So 65. I don't love it. Let's just stay in this range. Let's get a guy in this range. Or is there someone? Josh Palmer. Let's go up from Josh Palmer.
Okay.
Let's go up to Keon.
Keon?
Or whoever. 51 Keon here.
That's fine.
And then you got 52,
52,
which is
That's
Stephon.
Diggs. That's Roma Dunze. That's
Yeah, there's some guy. Well, yeah, you would go down to Rome. I'm not against that.
Love me
That's
some Rome.
4,800. Pretty cheap. We could actually go from Rome and you could go up to Shakur if you wanted to, which I'm not against. So yeah, there's a way to mix and match right here. I think that this is a pretty good start, though, in my opinion, to the guys we like. Rams defense. Honestly, guys, I want everybody put their favorite defense this week in the chat, and it's all going to be different because that's just how defenses
I'm sprinkling
work.
my defense this week. The funny thing is, one of the best values last week was Tennessee, and I really kind of diluted my ownership because they were 2,200. But then I convinced myself to get up to a Pittsburgh and the Jets that kind of ended up biting me, whereas Tennessee was scrappy, ended up with 8 fantasy points. And that's all you need because spending down on defense more often than not does work out as long as they don't score you negative points, which has happened on occasion. But if you can get 4 or more, like you're good as long as you nail everything else. So
right. Robert in the chat asking for, he said, needs y'all's wisdom, flex options, JSN, Zay Flowers, or DeAndre Swift. Also, Robert, congratulations on your baby. Absolutely awesome. We're about to have ours this week. This is probably my last stream. So
yeah,
because our due date is this week.
Baby watch.
So yeah, if Taylor calls me and I gotta go, but during this show, I gotta go, but absolutely congratulations on that. JSN is my pick.
Yeah, I kind of agree as well. He had the highest, I think, target volume or target share last week overall, which kind of made sense. But 9 for 24, had a couple fumbles, lost one, but I was very encouraged by the rapport that he had with Sam Darnold early on. That was my only concern when he was a 3rd round pick in best ball. But yeah, I think he's the safest today. Zay Flowers I think is a little trappy.
Yeah.
And then DeAndre Swift, I'm fine with, but I'd prefer Chicago passing options today. Obviously, you're talking your fantasy team. But yeah, JSN is I
think the floor is all with JSN and the ceiling is all with Zay. Is kind of how I look at it because Zay obviously had a great game last week, but at the same time, you're not going to get those games from him every week. The floor is definitely JSN.
Yep.
All right. So that was our Fields line. I'm actually going to, Brandon, if it's okay, will you let us wait till we get to Maine to build your Aaron Rodgers line?
Yeah.
Because I think he's on this slate, but I want to get some 3 o'clock games in there when we do it.
Right.
Do you want to let's build one line, our favorite line.
Caleb Williams, if we're
your favorite line. How about that? Yeah, your favorite line.
Wow. Okay, that's fine.
Because I'm gonna have Josh Allen on my favorite line, I think.
Okay. Well, then we'll do a Josh Allen line.
Well, we'll do it on Maine. We'll do another one later.
Okay.
But for only here.
So I want to
double.
Sure.
Do you want to single?
I'm fine singling. I have some single lines, but let's do a double.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
All right. Who's your bring back?
My bring back's gonna be Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay. Who is your? Let's throw a defense here in a second.
Let's go
as fast as I can.
Yep. Let's go all the way down to the Saints.
Okay.
And if we can go up, we can go up.
Okay. Perfect. There's
I want CMC.
Okay. And then what would your Jacksonville Cincinnati look like?
Let's go Harold Fannin.
Perfect. Love that. Harold Fannin. Okay. 2 left. What you got?
And that's enough for Etienne and Jamar Chase.
That is amazing. So that's a win. Guys, great line right here. And it's going to be not duped because no one wants to play.
Oh, I'm 100 short.
Oh, but we can.
I jinxed it.
Let's see. What can we do? There's no one under the Saints, I don't think, that I'm going to get to.
Well, you can get to Tennessee again if you think they kind of feel
but
keep the Rams under 20.
I'd rather throw my defense out than any other position because I think this is really nicely correlated and really pretty.
Yep.
So I like
That's fine. And then the other idea I had, because when I'm doing Chicago Bills today, I think I'm solely focusing on bringing back with the Jahmyr or Sam Laporta. So going down from Jahmyr, we already have the running back in there. So that's about 1,700. So you got 5,700 for a flex, and then you can basically afford whatever you want. Or if you want a single stack, then take DJ Moore out and then go high-low with that as well.
Sure. Okay. Well, let's go over to afternoon. We're no, we're not behind. I thought we were a little behind. We're not. It took about 40. All the quarterbacks were on that slate, guys.
No,
Just
yeah.
so y'all know.
All the quarterbacks I'm building with today are going to be 12 o'clock.
So this will be quick. Our quarterbacks on this slate we're going to talk about are these three guys on top, but they're not actually going to be our quarterbacks that we're going to build on main. So we're just going to run through them pretty quick. KC versus Philly. Got to start with Justin Hurts. He's going to most likely. I mean, God dang, I'm all over the place today. Justin Fields earlier. That's why Jalen is messing me up. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. Prices are crazy when you think about it. Truly,
Yeah,
though.
receivers on this slate are so interesting because of the fact that there's only one guy above 6,500, and it's the guy that had one target last week. So you have to believe that he's not truly hurt and in a better game script,
Right.
hopefully an environment that he can actually produce.
I guess I can put Goddard. Sorry.
No, Goddard is out today. So it's Mr. Grant Calcaterra.
Sure. 2,500 Grant Calcaterra?
Yeah.
Never done that before.
Well, the thing is, last year we did that a time or two, and he still only had 1 or 2 targets.
Yeah. But
so one time he caught the touchdown. That was fun. But he just doesn't increase volume. It's not like Luke Schoonmaker inheriting Jake Ferguson's role.
Right.
In that similarity. So if I am doing Jalen Hurts, I'm just solely doubling with AJ and Devontae.
Yep.
I'm completely fine doing that. Jalen is the one guy I think on the slate of the quarterbacks to play that you don't even have to double.
Yeah, I agree.
And again, because he's $1,000 cheaper, I'd probably slightly side with Devontae Smith. But if you want to convince yourself it's AJ Brown, like I can't fault you for $6,600. That is too cheap. And at some point, AJ Brown is going to be a very juicy buy low.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna try to grab. Hold on. You grab some ownership for me.
Yep.
But I'm gonna get out of this. I don't really want to play Philly, unfortunately.
No, that's fine.
But I do think I will be playing maybe some Saquon on this slate if I can get to him, of course, because he is going to have the highest ceiling by far of any player.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of in a league of his own. Nobody else is above 7K. He's at 8K. Obviously, that is a big differentiator. So
let me also shout out Jeremy real quick. He did say Mac Jones didn't look bad last year. To be honest, I hate to let him go as our backup. One thing though, Jeremy, today he's going to be throwing the ball to a guy that's injured in Juwan Jennings, currently injured, not a guy that got shot last year in Ricky Pearsall, and then also Christian McCaffrey, who has missed multiple years for season ending. And then I don't know who else. That's basically how I feel.
He's $4,000.
But he's $4,000, so we're gonna play him. But I mean, yes, of course, you want him as your backup, but he doesn't really have anybody to go with the ball. Go to the ball.
It's gonna be fun. He's gonna get to 14. It's gonna be fun today.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. This is afternoon slate. Let's kind of run through it
again. Throw it out there.
This is, I think, one of the funner ones to do, but it's frustrating. Dusty, we haven't seen him in the chat yet, but I hate watching your team play football. It is so annoying to watch Kyler Murray and that offense run. James Conner is probably going to be one of the most popular on the afternoon slate. Obviously, a great matchup. We saw what Etienne did last week against the Carolina Panthers. But at the same time, James Conner, if it weren't for a shovel pass touchdown, he did not look good. Trey Benson actually had a lot more snaps than people thought he would, even though Coach Speak said all summer long, this is going to be more of a split backfield. Trey was kind of inefficient as well. He did have one breakaway run down the sideline. But it's one of those, to me, wait and see situations. I understand going with James Conner, but to me, I think I don't prefer him as much as getting up to like JT, who's $100 more. A lot of people, because it is against the number one, what you see rated defense against running backs, I think people might flock away from him, go either up to Saquon or to James or down to Chuba. So that's just kind of how I think. But Marvin, he didn't have to do a ton last week, but he looked awesome. He almost caught a 99-yard touchdown as Kyler would have hit him in stride. And then Trey McBride, obviously, is Trey McBride. And to me, it's kind of paramount to me to get up to him at tight end on this slate because he's just kind of in his league of his own. And Kelsey, I can get behind it, but the fact is he is going to be one of the more owned tight ends today because of the fact that they really have not a ton of people to throw the ball to.
Yeah.
And so chalky Travis Kelsey is tough to get around. I'm interested in hearing about a double tight end on afternoon, though.
I'm always interested in it. Yes, Gail, we were talking about Mac Jones. Let's go over to the last one that we will be willing to build with. It's going to be Mr. Patrick Mahomes. We'll run through it really quick. They're playing Philly. You picked KC to win. Isaiah Pacheco has to go in there, but he got like 5 freaking rushes. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy is out.
Yes.
already. So Hollywood Brown will be a mainstay on this slate for sure.
Yeah, he's going in the line. The funny thing is, there's weird vibes that I feel that this could be a Juju day. It could be.
Sure. I'm not
And
against doubling with these prices.
no,
These prices are so low.
it's really easy to know the 4 guys to target. Obviously, I'm not interested in the Kansas City run game today. I need more of a 20-20-20-20-25 split from that backfield. It was really depressing watching that, but it honestly makes me feel a little better about Rashard, even though he was on the field, didn't get a touch, but just long-term outlook in best ball. He was our, big mainstay at the best ball season for late rounds. But Hollywood Brown, obviously going to project really well, going to be one of the most popular guys. I think not a lot of people are going to flock to Juju. So going a double of Patrick Mahomes with either Kelsey or Brown and then Juju as well, I think is a fun way to get about it. And him being only $4,000 makes you afford whatever you want.
Yep. I think it's pretty easy. Where do you want to start building this? We'll build one real quick.
What quarterback do you want to do? It doesn't.
Give me Patrick.
You don't feel great about any of them.
Give me Patrick.
Okay.
That way I can go Saquon on the other side and.
All right.
Go
I'm not even. I don't even feel good about getting up to Saquon on this slate. To be honest, no. He's my third favorite Eagle. Believe it or not.
I can't get behind it after watching last week.
Well, then let's build with Saquon.
After watching AJ Brown go for 1.8. It's tough. It's hard.
I know, but last time we saw Kansas City play Philly, they allowed Saquon to have 3 yards to carry.
Yep.
So
I get it. It's gross.
So obviously, I think I prefer just doubling at receiver. So Brown and Juju
going up at tight end.
Yeah, going up to Trey McBride at tight end.
Okay.
Defensive wise, I don't really feel great about anybody.
Sure.
Denver, if you can get to them. Arizona probably is the best play. It might be the most popular play. But again, I don't know if we can get up to him. I think we can start and see. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go up to Denver and start there.
Okay. Well, then
running back
wise, I know you were big on JT in our first look main, so we can put him in there and see if we have to go down or not. And then that's about 5,200 each.
Yeah, 56. Tet's a name we have to talk about. Probably he's going to be highly owned, at least, because he is the bulk of the offense.
Right now he's showing about 40% owned. That is the highest owned receiver on the afternoon slate.
Yeah,
I don't think I can get behind the highest owned.
Yeah,
but I understand the reason behind it.
I enjoy getting away from that normally, but 5,400 is a reasonable price. Is there an indie receiver that you're confident in?
No. Not today. I think a fun name. I don't necessarily in this build want to do double cheap receiver, but a fun name worth mentioning is Troy Franklin.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that he was second highest on the team snaps last week, second highest in targets. Marvin Mims had a bad game. Pat Bryant, who everybody wanted to hype up, was going to be the wide receiver 3. Denver had 11 people catch passes, and he was not one of them last week. 11 people caught passes. He was not one of those guys. Troy Franklin, second on the team in targets, second on the team in snaps. He's $3,700. He's not going to project well, but nobody's going to play him at $3,700. So I think he's really fun. If you're not going to Juju, I think that would be my preference to go down. But I'm fine figuring out other matters in this lineup specifically.
2 tight end matters. If you go Kelsey, you go Tet. If you go Tyler Warren, you get an extra $500.
So let's go Kelsey. Tet
just falls into the line.
I don't really want Tet. I'm going to be honest. What I would say, well, that would give you 2 Philly receivers or 2 Philly players. But my preference would be instead of Juju and doing a triple stack of Kansas City is going down to Troy. And then that allows you, no. Like leaving double tight end.
Oh, I see. You wanted to take out Juju.
Yeah, because I don't, honestly, I'm not interested in doing a triple of Kansas City today. I think it's just 2 guys go off. So, but doing double tight end, because Brown and Kelsey is going to be the easiest way people do doubles with Mahomes. But going double tight end, I think, is the tournament-y vibe of that. But going Troy, that allows you to get up to Devontae Smith if you want. But if you don't want to do that, save some salary. Tet's fine, I guess. But I just don't love how chalky he is.
I get it, but at the same time, he's a wide receiver 1 on a 6 team slate at
Mhm.
5,400. So that's why I think that he's viable. It's just kind of tough. I get it. Let me go over actually to Carolina real quick, just for receiver reference, because they literally have two guys.
Yeah.
It's really gross after that. I mean, Hunter Renfro, nah. I mean, he's not as good as you want with like a Jalen Coker would have been. Jatavion Sanders didn't really shine. So that's my only thoughts on it.
Right.
Let me clear it. We're gonna go over to the main. Brandon, we'll start with your build. How about that?
Let's do it.
Share this tab instead. There we go. Pull these guys off real quick because we already did this. I don't know why I did this originally. And we're gonna start with the Aaron Rodgers build. Didn't expect to say that today.
Well, we're gonna do it. And the thing is, he had 4 passing touchdowns. None were to DK Metcalf. But even though that's the case, how do you not
You have to play
build
DK.
with DK in a revenge game?
Yeah. So DK.
Don't love it, but you got to if you're going Aaron.
And then also JSN on the bring back. I think you have to go with 2 Pittsburgh players.
Do you have to?
I think so, just because you're not going to get there. Aaron's not going to get there if 2 pass catchers don't go off, I feel like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, am I not wrong on that thought process? Like,
yeah, I mean,
Calvin Austin, he's the main.
He's.
Let me go grab snap counts actually for this team because I didn't even really
I know
think about
Austin
him.
was the one that caught a touchdown, but the thing was
80%. He was on the
80%?
field. Yeah,
Okay, so
18%
then
for
it's gotta be
Skoranek, 18% for Roman Wilson.
4,700's a lot for him, though.
It is. What about Jonnu?
No.
I know.
How on the field was he compared to Firemouth?
He was 66%. Firemouth was 50.
I don't love it.
Yeah, I don't either. 4,700. Calvin Austin will have to be the answer.
I don't think so.
So we're gonna just not double Aaron Rodgers.
You don't want to spend $700 more to get Jalen Warren?
We can Jalen Warren it. That's fine.
I'd much rather do that than $4,700.
Okay.
Calvin Austin.
Jalen Warren.
Okay.
I think JSN goes in this line.
Okay.
As a bring back.
Yeah, you got to.
Because you're expecting then a similar 66-point game.
At some point, I don't think it's this week, but at some point, it's going to be a low-owned Kenneth Walker buy low spot that he's going to go for 200 or 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. I don't know if it's this week, but worth noting that
I don't disagree with you. I think
all went off.
I think your trade offer was ridiculous, but I don't disagree with you.
It was the start of a negotiation, and I wanted to see what we could do. Either way, but I don't know if it's this week. But one of my favorite props on the draft or the Prize Pick slate was Kenneth Walker plus over 9.5. I thought that was too low based on the matchup.
Absolutely. I'm gonna throw the Saints in there.
Okay.
I will still go get Christian McCaffrey. That's a Brandon. It's a Brandon line.
That's fine.
It's got to be Christian McCaffrey.
Right. He's wide receiver 1 and running back.
And running back 1. I would probably go to the game, the Cincinnati game.
Well, the thing is, if you do,
we're
not going to have a 3:00 player.
Great.
So, put in Trey McBride.
Okay. I think Marv more.
You like Marv more
than Trey McBride?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I can't agree because of the emphasis on position. Because he's in a land of his own.
That part.
I'm not saying shot for shot that Marvin will outscore Trey McBride.
Yeah.
Or won't outscore Trey McBride. But I'm just saying 5,800 receiver. You almost got to get to 20 for it to be a fantastic play.
Right.
But Trey, if he gets to 15, there's not many tight ends that will come close to that today. So I just think that positional value, plus it being a 3:00 game, I think is so much more important. But,
So the Titans-Rams game, Brandon, the Rams gave up 9 points last week. I'm going to stay.
They're my favorite defense today.
I'm going to stay as far away from the Titans as possible, basically.
Except for, I just want to shout out Alec Iomayer.
Sure. He's cheap and he's
$3,200. He led the league in air yards last week that were missed opportunities. Over 100 air yards. He had 7 targets as a rookie. So him being $3,200, if you wanted to go the cheap receiver route for an expensive quarterback, I am completely on board with Alec today. But not for mid-price quarterbacks. I'm not doing that.
Give me the jump ball king, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
56. We could go Rome.
Okay. Rome gets you to 64.
Yeah.
It's not great.
But I don't really like anybody enough to go under him, if that makes sense.
I mean,
So
it could
we
be
could go
two.
two
It could be
mids.
two mid K because the 5K receiver range is pretty loaded today.
Well, Brees Hall.
So-
Brees Hall's in there. I actually do like Brees Hall today.
Mhm.
I'm not against getting to him, but let's go out. Who's the mid 5K guy you want?
Hollywood Brown.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
he's gonna
Ted,
have
once
20.
again.
He had 15 targets. 16 targets last week
for 99 yards.
Let's go ahead and put Hollywood in there.
Okay.
And that gives you
6,000.
6, which is
That's enough for
Chuba.
Jason. Oh, we have Jason.
I like Chuba always. Marvin Harrison.
Well, if you truly want,
it was a joke.
I'm playing a bunch of Marvin today.
I know you are. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm just giving. Let's take Hollywood back up. Can we go away from
get out of Trey McBride? But you got to put Hollywood back because we need some 3 o'clock guys or a 3 o'clock guy at least. 52.
Whoops. It was on there. There you are. Okay. Tight end wise.
Tight end wise, I like.
I mean, it's easy to get Harold Fannin. We've talked about him a lot. It's really easy to get him.
900. So we're gonna be able to afford something else. So.
I mean, who is that?
I don't know if you need to go that low. I mean, that's literally. I'm not going up to Derrick Henry.
Well, no. Yeah. I was gonna say though, we could go
Chase and then up defense.
Yeah, I was gonna say we go to the Rams.
Rams.
You got 8,100
for Chase solo.
Yeah, we could do that. We could use this money to go up from Hollywood Brown,
or you could just single stack Aaron. I don't know.
We're single stacking Aaron. Oh, I forgot. Yeah. Okay, let's try that. Single stack Aaron.
So then go up to.
Got a lot of money.
We don't have enough money.
Lots of monies. We can go to Jameer. We can go down to Rome. It saves us $400. It's 67. 67 is BTJ.
Once again, we'd have no 3 o'clock game.
Oh my gosh, I hate this. I hate this slate.
That's annoying.
Okay. Well, what do you want to do for Brandon?
My final answer is going to be we're going to go down take out Jameer, go down to ETN.
Okay.
And then we're $100 freaking short.
There we are.
Put in Chase Brown. 3 running backs.
Okay.
All fun.
$1,200.
And then basically you can go up from
Harold Fannin.
Yeah.
You could go up, I guess, from ETN technically. Let's do what's 6,700 look like? Or 6,900 look like?
That's HN, that's Taylor, that is
JT,
BTJ.
Yeah, I'm not against going there.
Well, BTJ would be the natural bring back, and I'd want to correlate it a little better.
So there's your Cincinnati-Jacksonville game that we like talking about. Harold Fannin again, Hollywood Brown for your 3 o'clock games, and then your main stack that you want to get. Plus Christian McCaffrey, you got RB1 wide receiver.
Right.
So hopefully you like it. It's a little bit hard to build.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty hard to build just because you don't get the natural. It's gonna have to be isolated plays if you went that route.
Yeah.
If you're doing a double bring back with the Pittsburgh game, you don't really get to do just a bunch of Chicago, Detroit, and then Jacksonville, Cincinnati. You have to kind of pick and choose. So
it is 10:30 on the. Well, not on the dot.
Almost on the dot.
I'm gonna let Cam give us the top 5 ownerships for every position real quick, and then we should get I'll refresh.
Basically, the biggest news that I'm waiting on, and this doesn't impact your start sit decisions, but it's just a vibe thing. Is Trent Williams is a game time decision. Mostly everything else we kind of already know.
Everybody's made a paper in San Francisco. Got it.
So waiting on that news to come out. It's officially 10:30, so it'll come out at any moment now. But 5 highest owned starting with the quarterback position, highest owned quarterbacks is going to be Lamar is actually the highest owned quarterback, followed by Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, and then Justin Fields. So a lot of people spinning up at quarterback today. And then the primary way of spinning down, they're interested in a Justin Fields and just outside the top 5, Trevor Lawrence. So Caleb Williams all the way down. I think he is the 11th owned quarterback.
Okay.
Drake May is 10th. Mac Jones is 9th. That's where I'm living today for the most part, with the exception of I'm going to have some Josh Allen, Joe Burrow today.
What does your ownership say for Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers is the 3rd lowest owned quarterback at less than 2% owned.
On RotoWire, he is the lowest owned quarterback.
Yeah.
He's Spencer
just
Rattler.
Okay. Yeah, he's just above Spencer, and then Cam Ward is the lowest owned, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
For at least the ownership projections that we're looking at.
Yeah. Bryce Young being less than 1% is interesting to me.
Yeah. I think also a name we haven't really talked about, but I can get behind the idea is Dallas doubles.
Mm-hmm.
Dak being as low owned as he is was surprising to me.
Yeah.
But he's less than 4% owned, and then CD being less than 10, George Pickens also being less than 7 or 8. Easy. Also, Jake Ferguson. He's probably the most overlooked of the high 3K, low 4K range of the tight ends. So a lot of options I'm interested in. If you wanted to go that route, I won't be today, but the ownership says why not?
All right. Running back
wise, it is
got to be CMC.
No, Devon Achane, highest owned at 31%. He's the highest owned skill player overall.
No way.
Yeah, not playing him. Christian McCaffrey is next though. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Chase Brown after that makes sense. Jameer Gibbs after that makes sense. And then James Conner is actually rounding out the top 5 at roughly 13% owned.
So we're looking at different optimizers. So we have different ownership. Kyron Williams is the 4th highest owned on RotoWire right now.
He's 6th or 7th on this one.
Okay, so yeah, he's
showing as one of the better leverage plays. Him being 63, I thought was interesting, but it's just a weird game to get to. But if I'm so confident in the Rams defense, like why not?
Yeah, absolutely. You get the running back on the same team, basically.
Yeah,
with that stack.
The thing is with Tennessee is they really held Denver's run game in check, except for a 50-yard run by Harvey towards the end of the game, and then JK's one touchdown that kind of helped salvage him for about 15, 20 yards. Outside of that, they kind of held them in check, and Kyron is not a PPR back, so he's around Chuba, he's around Breece Hall, he's around Connor, Taylor, Chase Brown. He's probably the lowest on the totem pole from those guys. He's got to score twice to me to truly take down today. But who knows? Receiver wise,
Trent Williams is active.
He is active already.
Thanks, Gal.
It's fine. New Orleans is still going to win. Just kidding. I have no confidence in that whatsoever.
Wide receiver,
obviously Jamar Chase is the highest owned. Puka Nacua is actually the 2nd highest at 16%. Tyreek Hill want nothing to do with him being the 3rd highest owned at 3, rounding out the top 3. Hollywood Brown makes sense. And then T. Higgins, once again, I'm interested in him when he was low owned, or if he was going to be low owned, but for the 2nd straight week, he is top 5 in ownership. So I just kind of I'm not really interested in him. But just outside of that, JSN right below him, showing a little bit more leverage. I feel much better about Jackson Smith and Jigba today.
Calvin Ridley is the number 1 owned on RotoWire.
17%.
Just thought I'd put that out there.
Yeah, he's showing as 8th on this list, but right around 10%. I just don't think the matchup's there. I don't think it's just because he's 4,900, but I don't think that many people are really clicking his name.
Hollywood is behind Chris Olave at like 12th.
No.
So I completely disagree with that. So just putting that out there, guys.
But a name that sticks out to me, because I'm filtering to the highest price guys. I didn't expect 67 and up. The top 6 highest owned receivers. Top 6 priced receivers. I didn't expect CeeDee Lamb to be the lowest owned of the 6. So
Amon-Ra is higher.
Yeah,
on yours. Okay, he's not over here, but I believe it.
Amon-Ra's at 10%, and then CD's down at 8. So I have about 30 to 35% CD, and so to me, I'm really going high-low with a lot of plays today, and so getting up to a Chase and a Lamb, or like 2 of those guys, or 1 high-price guy, a couple of high-price running backs, that's really the direction I'm going. So I was shocked to be that much over the field to CD as of this moment.
I really like Puka. We talked about this a little bit on the main slate for the props. His prop went up like 9 yards since then, which was awesome.
I think you got him at 73.
71 and a half.
71.
Yeah.
Now it's up to 80.
80, yeah, 81.5, I think now. So big time.
All right, yeah.
But you don't get those unless you are in the Discord because
for sure. Or watch
those are put out on Tuesdays.
Yeah, and our first look main video that comes out on Fridays.
Yeah.
But at the time when those videos come out, they're probably already juiced.
The props
so that's why you got to be in the Discord.
Absolutely.
But let's finish up this ownership game. Top 5 tight ends: Trey McBride, Travis Kelce, Sam Laporta, Mark Andrews, Tyler Warren. The 5 highest priced tight ends are the 5 highest owned.
Wait, what?
I did not.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, how are you missing Harold Fannin?
My apologies. I had the wrong thing filtered. Harold Fannin is the highest owned. Trey McBride, Travis Kelce. Brenton Strange is actually 4th. That was kind of surprising. Then Sam Laporta, Mark Andrews. So basically the highest priced tight ends, but then also bake in Brenton Strange as a natural either bring back or double option. And Harold Fannin, he's just too cheap.
Where is Jake Ferguson for you?
He is about 6% owned. Okay. He's right below Grant Calcaterra. So, and again, I'm fine usually, but like there's value everywhere on the site. I don't think you got to go minimum price tight end. I'd rather go minimum price quarterback than minimum price tight end. And on top of that, last year, the couple of game sample size we saw with him getting all the snaps, he did not have a ton of extra targets. It was just 2 or 3 targets. One time he scored. I just think it's a little overblown. I just am not interested.
Sure. What about defense?
Defense.
We have I have a conversation to have with you here in a second.
Oh, okay. So highest owned defense is Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
Obviously against Cleveland is the highest favorite on the slate, but it's really expensive and they did not look that good last week. So who knows? Rams next after that. Really love the Rams today as a defense being 3,100. Pittsburgh right after that. I'm not trusting them after them not being able to hold the Jets. I will say that. Miami being 4th highest owned is very, very silly to me. But at the same time, after the top 3, usually defense is just sprinkled of 5%ers. And then Dallas rounds out top 5 at 4.4%.
RotoWire has Cleveland Browns as the number 1 defense, 12.1% owned. Where is the Cleveland over there? Just wondering.
0.1%.
Okay, well, they're the number 1 defense.
I don't think 0.1 is accurate, but there's no way that they're the highest owned defense.
Yeah, I just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
All right.
That is complete opposite.
That's why I was saying we're going to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, let's build some lines.
Okay. Let's do it.
Your quarterback.
And once again, as we start building some lines, if you guys want a look
or
a specific build, please say it in the chat about specific quarterbacks, specific players that have to be in there that we haven't really talked about much. Let's start, since we've already done a Chicago build. We're going to do another since this is the main slate, but we'll start with Josh Allen and see what you want to do.
Let's go down price-wise. Josh Allen, running back, I'm going to get to, but we're going to go double wide receiver. Maybe. Yeah, we're going to do a double wide receiver.
Okay.
And we're going to...
you're doing Josh.
Yeah, Josh is going to be in it. I'm going to go Khalil. It's going to be, we're just going to throw some darts.
Okay.
Dustin's actually pretty good darts, so maybe I'll let him throw the darts. I'll put some names up on the wall.
He's still drunk.
He is drunk.
Yeah, once again, big Aggie fan. They come back the last second.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where I'm gonna start. I think.
Who's your preferred bring back between Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall?
I want to leave some wide receiver room, so I'm gonna
put in Breece.
62. Okay. Start here.
All right.
I'm gonna throw a defense. I'm gonna just go 2,500 to start. Okay. Mm-hmm.
All righty. Now,
I'm gonna go cheap tight end.
Cheap tight end.
This is pretty chalk. It's gonna be a chalky build for this, I think.
I don't think it's that chalky when you got
dart throws over here, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Breece Hall's less than 10% on. I don't think you have a single chalk other than Josh Allen.
Really?
In your line. Or I guess you just clicked on Harold. But yeah, you're very different right now.
That's crazy to me. All right, well, let's get a little chalkier then.
Sure. Let's go CMC.
I might go Puka. I might go Puka. I might go CMC plus Jameer. Can I do that?
Yeah. I think that is going to make you do a mid-price receiver.
63. Oh, gross. It would be JSN, I guess.
Yeah, but once again, you have no 3 o'clock games.
I don't want any 3 o'clock games. I'm going to play early.
Are you going to play some early only in the main?
Yeah, shoot. Why not?
Okay.
Okay. Wide receiver wise, let's go 5,200
to Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Give me a 3 o'clock.
That's enough for Jamar.
It's enough for everybody. How do I want to change this? There's a way. I mean, I really don't want. I mean, it's 400.
If you're fine single stacking Buffalo, you can go up from Shakir to ETN.
I was gonna do this.
That too.
Yeah, that's what I think I'm gonna do. For a first look, of course, Keon Coleman goes in there.
I just never I'm never comfortable playing Shakir in a DFS slate. But at the same time, a lot of last year he was chalky.
Yeah.
Because he was the only guy that was contributing consistently. But he was only getting you 12 to 15. But he was like high 5K every single time. This time, at least, we know that 3 contributed off the bat, and 4 if you count Dalton Kincaid, and 5 if you count James Cook. So I think the ownership really being so diluted is because of the fact that nobody knows what to do with Buffalo stacks.
Right.
So I can be convinced no matter what.
Can you single stack Buffalo? I think you can because Josh Allen can run.
Naked. I think you can single. I think you can double.
Just have Josh Allen in your line.
Yeah.
Just put him in the line. That's
what I'm saying. Your bold prediction.
Absolutely. We're going to have rushing touchdowns.
Hey,
baby.
he's tied for the league lead right now.
He's going to run away with it. Okay.
Literally. All right.
Quarterback.
Caleb.
Okay. We're going to start with the Caleb line for Cameron.
I can't get enough of Chicago today. So we're going Rome. I'm going to try to single this one.
Okay. 4,800 is too cheap, guys.
4,800, and he's about 3%.
So dumb.
Lock it in. I'm going to go double expensive running back. So I'm going to go Jameer and CMC.
Rome is basically Emeka Buka last week. This week. That's literally what but Emeka was chalky.
Yeah.
Rome is a second-year receiver.
And
I don't know.
You don't see. So quick 2 tangents. First off, the highlight that everybody is showing about DJ Moore being overthrown on that possible, like, keep it close touchdown. It was DJ Moore's fault.
Mm-hmm.
The coaches come out and said that he ran the wrong route. Caleb threw it to the sideline where it should have been, and he ad-libbed and went up the field because he was open. He's not wrong for doing that, but if there's miscommunication and you're not running the right route, it's your fault.
Yeah.
So I just want to put that out there. But at the same time, that specific play could possibly be why Caleb Williams isn't chalky today. So
and DJ Moore is in chalky also.
And then Rome actually had a pretty strong game.
Yep.
But a lot of times he was playing it safe early on. There were multiple times he beat somebody deep on a post, multiple times in the first half, and he didn't look that way. But
yeah, I think that first game felt very butterflies, where Caleb did not want to push the ball down the field.
He just didn't want to turn the ball over.
Even DJ had some plays where he got open. Rome got open. Zacchaeus was the only one that didn't go deep during the game. So I think that
we haven't even said his name, but he's $3,600. So
and he's definitely viable at that price. So yeah.
Either way, my bring back is going to be Jameer with this specific line.
Did you say Christian McCaffrey?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going double.
I'm not crazy. Dave, you can.
I'm going to go to tight end. I'm going to see what else I can do. Tight end all the way down to Harold Fannin.
Okay. 31. So cheap.
Yep. And then defense, let's go Rams.
Okay. 31.
Yep. I don't get it.
Okay.
Cheap. Okay. So I got 6,200. That's pretty good
solid
to play around with. I need a 3:00 guy. So I'm going to say Hollywood.
Okay. Pretty easy to throw him in there.
67 per. The easiest thing that naturally brings back is Brian Thomas and Chase Brown.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to do that?
Unless you have.
No, I think that makes a ton of sense. That's where I would have gone.
Okay.
It's a great line.
I know our thumbnail is Jamar Chase. We've built a ton of Jamar lines already, but I'm going to be, might be my highest owned receiver. So it's not like.
And ETN.
I'm preferring Chase. I think I'm going to be over 50% to both Chase Brown and
Actually,
Jamar Chase today.
I have a question. Are the prices the same? I'm not doing math right now. What? It's okay. Let's just do it like this. No, you're about $300 difference. Okay. For a Chase Brown plus BTJ versus a Jamar Chase ETN line, who would you rather have?
So
Jamar Chase and ETN, or Brian Thomas and Chase Brown? Because those are the two in that game that you're getting most likely.
I would probably say I side more with ETN and Jamar. And that doesn't sound like it should make sense, but
no, I think I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just wondering because they're basically going to come in $300 difference on price, but it's just
in the event that I would go that route, I probably would take away Jameer.
And take away Jameer.
Yeah.
Gibbs?
So take out Jameer, put in Etienne.
Go to running back. I thought that's what I was going to do. 57.
There you go. Take out BTJ and put in Jamar.
Yeah.
And that leaves you
71.
71.
Which is a Monroe for your bring back. That would be your bring back.
It would be,
but
and it makes sense. But
yeah.
I don't, not really
on the Monroe.
on that. You could go from Fannin to Laporta, and that leaves you around $5,400 for
whoever in that range.
Yeah. So going the Laporta route, you have Tet. You have
people are on Tet. I know that there's some favorites.
Some Ricky Pearsall,
Jalen Warren, some Ricky Pearsall.
I mean, that would be a second
San Fran
guy, but screw it.
I mean, there's two of them. That's it.
Right.
That's all that's in the offense.
If you didn't like that and you wanted another fun option, going down to the Saints, and then you have enough for JSN.
How about
or Marvin Harrison?
I agree with that. That's great. I actually do like that. How about we do this though? Because
Trey.
So we're gonna Trey and JMO. I think is probably too expensive for that. How was I gonna do it? We went down to ETN. Well, I was gonna put JMO as your bring back because we did get some love for JMO from the Gale.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe find a way to get him in the line. But I think that the idea of Caleb Williams is pretty easy to build, is what I was gonna get at.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. He's my most exposed quarterback today. So.
And he's got 20 lines, so he's gonna do a lot of these things that we just talked about.
6 to 7 lines with Caleb today.
Okay.
That's how good I feel about him.
Let's go ahead and
once again, if you are in the chat and you have any builds that you want,
we're
going to be here probably another 15-20 minutes.
Yeah,
but if not, then we might move on to kind of first looks and primetime stuff.
Yeah, I want to build one more.
Okay.
It's going to be Mac Jones, just to see what we can do with no money.
So are we
Where the hell? You see San Fran? There they are. Oh, wait. What?
Martinez.
Huh?
I said Adrian Martinez.
Where's the other San Fran quarterback? What the hell? There he is. All right, Daddy. Mac Daddy.
All right. So cool. How do you want to build a Mac Jones? Because I wasn't expecting him to be, as low owned as he is.
Christian McCaffrey.
So, but I'm saying, are you doubling?
No.
So you're not going to put Pearsall in at 4% owned?
Should I?
If no one else is.
5,300, we might be able to work it in anyways. Yeah, let's go ahead and start with our freaking. I'm not playing the Saints this time, so we're going to play the Rams. It's a pretty easy decision to make. Why don't we start by putting our 3:00 game in, and I'm going to put Marv as our 3:00 because I don't want to have to worry about that later. Okay. 6,000.
6,000 per. That's a lot of cheddar.
That's a lot of money.
So do you want to go mid-price running back or double stud?
Who's your stud that you want?
You can go Chase Brown. You can go Jameer. You can go.
Well, I do want the Cincinnati Jacksonville game, so let's go Chase Brown and BTJ.
Okay.
And start it out. Not against going double running back in that game, actually. Just putting that out there. Tight end, we can go down, and it will leave us with basically getting whatever we want.
You can. I don't know if I'd prefer doing double punt.
Does it feel like is it a punt with Harrison? Is that what we're saying?
Maybe. I mean, just in theory, being able to afford a minimum price quarterback, usually that allows you to get up to expensive tight end. But obviously, we're not doing Trey McBride in this one. But I'm thinking of Kelsey. We haven't talked about Samuel Porta. But because of the fact that we're not going McBride, let's just do it.
Harold Fannin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
He played
how many snaps did he play?
72% of the snaps.
That's damn good.
Yeah. And Njoku played 84%. Just saying. It's a buy low spot for an Njoku. Just putting that out there. I know people are going to be off of him.
Yeah,
but
of course,
perfect buy low spot.
Of course, because Njoku is the most popular tight end, Harold Fannin goes off. So this week, Harold Fannin Jr. being the most popular tight end, David Njoku is going to go off. It just makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just going to hurt us in our feelings.
Okay. So
Last
we already did Jacksonville, Cincy. Don't need that. I don't want New Orleans players. Wide receiver wise, just pick a favorite. Give me a favorite. CeeDee Lamb,
Yeah,
we
we
haven't.
talked to CD Lamb
Hey.
a ton. Put in CD.
Sure. Puka, $200 cheaper. I told you we liked him. 5,200 gives us Hollywood.
Uh-huh.
We could go down to Puka and put in Ricky Pearsall for a double.
Oh, I forgot you didn't even put him in.
No, but we could go down and get him in there.
Well, the thing is, we put in Marvin. So
yeah, I did it already. I told you. I'm already ahead of it. Okay, so what do you think?
That's fine. I'm probably not going to play Puka today.
Sticky
but
Ricky.
I get the reason.
All
Sticky
right.
Ricky.
How about this?
The Gale wants Ricky.
We'll put Ricky then, Gail. It's, it is what it is. Bang. And then you can go with Gibbs, actually, is an option if you still like that more. I think Puka is going to have a great game, but at the same time, he has to score a touchdown at that price, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean,
everybody's 7K if you don't score a touchdown. It's very tough
right. I think the odds are going to be lower that he scores, though, than some of the other guys around him. Like Jahmyr Gibbs. I think Jahmyr Gibbs probably has higher.
Is minus money to score.
I mean, either one of these guys I'm happy with.
Or you can just go down from Chase Brown to ETN and then be able to afford Jamar, and you get Jamar and
to ETN, but
I see. Well,
what if I flipped them?
Yeah,
because it's we could do this. Yum. ETN, Jamar. 74, Jahmyr. That's fine.
Yeah,
it's perfectly fine.
Go.
We do not have a Chicago player. Cam's favorite of the day.
It's fine.
But at the same time, there's no point. There's no
point
in this line going that low. Like you said, if we already go Harold Fannin and Mac Jones, you shouldn't go all the way down to 48, in my opinion here.
Right.
You should just play the guys up top, which is what we did. Sticky Ricky for the win, huh? Keep it simple. Okay. Gee. Getting on me.
I think it's a good spot once again. Like last week when Juwan Jennings unexpectedly was ruled in, I still was on Ricky, but I was like, I'm going to dilute it down to like 35%.
Right.
Because he ended up being like 4% owned. This week is basically a mirror of that because Juwan Jennings wasn't expected to play, and then now he is. And because it's Mac Jones and Juwan Jennings is playing, no one's playing Ricky Pearsall again. And I'm just like, the same spot. It's the same spot. Same spot.
Yeah.
Same spot.
I don't understand why they wouldn't play him. It doesn't make much sense.
He should be. He's an easy, to me, should be 10% owned.
Yeah.
And he's showing as I only have quarterbacks.
Way too much Harold Fannin this week. Oh, it's gonna be crazy. The more I think about
Pearsall. 2.5%. No, I'm sorry. That was his optimal percentage. 3.8%.
Okay. Well, okay.
Just 4% on quarterback, 4% on receiver.
Sure.
And then chalky
everywhere else. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we underestimate how easily we can just play guys we love in great spots. Like Drake May and Caleb Williams don't feel chalky, but apparently nobody's playing them. So you could literally play the chalk the rest of the way with Chicago doubles, New England doubles.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's go over to prime time since
3 games.
Any quarterbacks that they want to talk about in the chat or builds that they want. So we're on prime time here. Well, maybe if I can get there.
Hey, double touchdown Pearsall would be sick for my bank account today. I will say that, the Gale.
You said last week's Ibuka is Pearsall this week. But Ibuka was owned. That was the difference.
Yeah, that is also the thing.
Roma Dunze, like you keep talking about, he is not owned. Ricky Pearsall, not owned. It's but the
Hollywood
Brown is probably
Hollywood is probably the
Ibuka this week. Yeah. But yeah, the guys, because Ibuka was like 20% owned last week. And then he did exactly what he was supposed to, which we're going to play him on this slate that we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Which quarterback we're going to play? We're not going to go through each quarterback. We're just going to pick one.
Justin Herbert is the first guy that stands out to me, but I understand because you think that Minnesota and Atlanta is going to be a shootout if you wanted to go that direction.
I think JJ is my favorite.
JJ is your favorite. Ooh, that is not who I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, I think JJ is my favorite.
Well, let's do the newborn father. Clicking on him, that means you got to get to JJ, which is really, really unexciting.
It's fine.
But, that just means that we're fading probably Bijan.
Maybe. We'll see.
I mean, my first kind of shock to me was Omar and Hampton being 5,800. I know the Raiders shut down G&T last week,
Mhm.
but 5,800 just seems too low. And also, I want to point out that Jordan Mason at $5,100 has the same exact fantasy point over under as Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
And no one's going to play him because he's the second priced running back. Aaron Jones also scored a touchdown to salvage his day, and I was so annoyed by it. But it is just worth noting how I think it's really, really solid leverage to go Jordan Mason. Right now, if you look at the ownership of the running back position, Jordan Mason is not even in the top 5. So it's basically Bucky, Bajan, Ginty, Hampton, Jones, Chubb, and then Jordan Mason. So that's my spot to get different today.
Cool. Well, I think that
but the thing is,
in this line, it wouldn't make sense in my opinion.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm with you. Let's just throw him in and just see if we can make it work.
Okay.
Because it's going to be gross, but let's go ahead and grab a cheap defense on this slate.
They're all kind of similar plays. I think in terms of upside, I like Houston the most.
Yeah, defense. Houston has an 81% on RotoWire. What do you got over there?
Well, the thing is,
bad small slates on RotoWire for sure.
Yeah, so. And I'm not a fan of them. And then Chris doesn't do the
individual slates. Okay. Well, so. I think Houston will probably be the highest owned. I'm not against going against them with the Buccaneers because of the fact that, well, I'm picking the Bucs, of course, but also I think that the Bucs are going to have upside of sacks because that O-line's so bad. And I think that's my biggest stand.
So pick your winner of Houston and
okay.
And,
so we'll go
Tampa
with the Bucs
is how I would approach that then.
Sure. Bucky is showing as the highest owned running back.
Hate it.
Yeah, it's not it. Okay. Let's go.
I think you got to go on the rookies, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably go with Omarion.
Okay.
I don't like running against the Chargers, unfortunately. Okay. So starting here, it's really gross.
All right.
Price wise.
Well,
Jacoby Myers has
once
to go
again, the biggest decision to me to make is to Bowers or to not Bowers.
Well, in this line, it's going to be really hard to Bowers.
That's what I'm saying.
TJ might be the answer for a double.
Yeah. TJ?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then let's say, Jacoby's going in your line.
Yeah, he's in all
way
my
too
Thursday,
freaking cheap.
Most of my Thursday, Mondays.
Everybody's going to play Quentin Johnston, which makes me not want to play Quentin Johnston,
not.
even though I like Quentin Johnston. I just don't
really
think
chalky.
He's got to be. There's no way after last week.
13%. Again, RotoWire sucks with small slates, but there's just I'm not interested in that compared. Keenan Allen's actually double his ownership, which I think in theory that makes sense. I don't know if the numbers are accurate.
Well, he's 48. Yeah,
him being $500 or $600 cheaper makes no sense to me.
That's fair. Okay, now I need 2 players at 5,600.
Well, what are your thoughts on Drake London?
I like him, but he's 65.
Well, I'm just saying because he left the game with a shoulder injury. It was limited all week. It sounds like he's going to play, but if you do that, obviously makes it really, really hard.
Double tight end, Kyle Pitts. And then I have 3 Atlanta players. But I think that game's going to blow up. So, that's the game I want to target.
You better be 6Xing with this line after tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. More than that.
I'd say in this line to not go London.
Okay.
And then.
Well, there's some range here. 5,800 at Buka.
Yeah. That allows you to.
That's a reasonable spot. Then you go Quentin Johnson. Or you just go down straight to Keenan and you just say, hey, let me catch that salary.
No, I'm completely on board with leaving salary.
Yeah.
On small slates.
I think that's fun. Is going like that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I don't love it.
My thought.
Don't love it.
Let's try to open up some flexibility. Let's do a Atlanta triple stack.
All right.
Triple stack.
We'll see. We'll see.
Penix, London, Pitts, Bajan.
Perfect.
And then Darnell Mooney goes off.
Yeah.
Because that's how it works. I was just very impressed with how
Minnesota.
And then Jordan Mason, I would say. Unless you're doing double tight end with TJ, but I didn't love the fact that he wasn't the go-to guy for a rookie.
Yeah.
I'm going Houston personally on my side of defense. And then I think Jacoby.
Absolutely. He has to be in your lineup. He's wide receiver 1 on the team that has no wide receivers.
This is where it gets tricky.
Well, you didn't go Brock,
Did not go Brock.
but you could go Brock and double tight end.
Put Keenan in. That's enough for JJ.
Okay. So
Now,
double bring back.
Yeah, it would be a lot cooler to get up to Omarion if we could.
Here. Mm-hmm. Let's put him in and just see where we can go. So, is there anybody under Keenan that makes sense?
Well, I have an idea, and unless you are not too confident in it, is like not. I feel like less people are talking about Ladd, and in terms of the dominant receivers, the guys above 7K or above 6K, he's the lowest owned of the bunch, or tied with Mike Evans for the lowest owned, but he's the lowest projected also.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I thought that Justin Herbert looked great last week, so I wouldn't. I mean,
well, the thing is, if say you went down from Justin to Ladd at 69, whoop whoop, you can go up to Justin Herbert, and then instead of doing a triple Atlanta or a double Atlanta, if you wanted to, you could go with TJ instead.
You want Omarion in this line?
I'm not against it.
Okay, I was wondering because we have a triple LAC.
Well, the thing is, I don't know what you're going to do at what is your proposal? Just take out Drake London.
Just a question.
That's what the answer is. Put Ladd in there.
Okay.
Back
65 is Drake London. But
so
you don't have to. You can go
down from Omarion
to
Jordan.
Oh, too far. Nobody on this list.
Now
72 is Bucky, Ashton, Genty, who we have not had in a line yet.
Go with how about Brock instead? Try to fit Brock in.
That's gonna be easy, I feel like. What? It didn't go away.
There you go.
Okay, it should be easy.
And then 52 is a lot of things.
I mean, it's do you have Keenan already in there?
Oh, yeah, okay. I
do. Nick Chubb, Darnell Mooney, Thielen. If you were what about triple? You got to change it to the Bucks, but you could triple Quentin Johnson.
Yeah, it would have worked last week.
Yeah, absolutely. Went crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a fun slate.
It's a fun slate because of the
massive
decision of going expensive tight end or not expensive tight end. And then on top of that, you figure out if you're going value receivers or a bunch of ones up top that are in decent spots.
Sure. Okay. So, well, let me stop. I think we're gonna stop sharing. I think that should be good. Yeah. It looks like we've got people trickling in and out. So stop sharing. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Everybody that came in and came out. We appreciate all of y'all being a part of the show. This will be my last live stream, most likely, that we will have until
further notice
way down the line. So Cam will be hanging out and doing this for y'all, and we're gonna have to figure out how and everything. It's gonna be a fun transition to say the least, but we'll get it all figured out. But we appreciate y'all hanging out with us, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, later, guys.